Buenos dias, low baggers. Welcome into another edition of Betting with Bouquet. My name is Jose Bouquet, and thank you guys all for joining me. Of course, what a day yesterday. What a great day we had yesterday. A winning day for once. A winning day for the first time, and I couldn't tell you how long for me in the baseball field. I went 3-1 yesterday, up 2 units, which felt great. Finally breaking that skid I was on. Hopefully, we can continue our winning ways today. And I was not the only one doing that winning. Larry, no. I'll bring up the tweet right now. I tweeted it out last night. All of our experts did their things as well. Mr. Gokster went 1-1, but hit that St. Louis Blues money line minus 104 really easily. Just no sweat in it at all. We lose by the hook in Edmonton, LA, but just a no sweat win, winning 2 days on the show so far for Mr. Gokster. I should say 2 days this week, and he is a winner on both days. So shout out to Mr. Gokster. Big Ragu, a 3-1 piece for Mr. Big Ragu there. We lose the Mets team total by a half run, but he cashes the under in Houston, Minnesota. The Dodgers team total and the Yankees money line comes through for him for a big plus 120 price there for him. Shout out to him. And of course, Dutch Boy Fresh. He was right on with those freaking Mavericks. They smash the Phoenix Suns. You get them first quarter, got them full game money line plus money. So shout out to Dutch. He loses on the Philadelphia Phillies, or the Phillies, the 76ers, I should say. But that's not surprising at all because they are just a bunch of quitters there on the 76ers. So not a shock to me there. Let's shout out to everyone in the chat real quick. Ronnie Umbergia, first one in here. Clean sheet yesterday. Had A's, Astros, Mets, Orioles in the afternoon. Then slapped the books with a conservative Yankees plus a half, Phillies plus a half. I bet you, Ronnie, you were nervous there when the Phillies started blowing that lead. But I'm glad that cashed for you, my man. Poppy Cat in here. Look ahead to Monday. Cardinals going to the New York Mets. St. Louis should beat Baltimore 2-3 in regulation and win all those series. Look at that. Looking ahead, Poppy Cat. I see you, my man. You've got Jedi for Life in here. Sam Colmer on the Caps money line. Jedi for Life. Miss Edmond over by the hook. Maybe even for the night. Ronnie and Bergia, by the way, parlay the A's, Mets, all those guys, and he capped it off. So there we go. I see what you mean there. I see what you mean. That's nice. That's good stuff. I don't remember exactly each result, so I'm assuming they're all cash for you. So shout out to you, Ronnie. Appreciate you, my guy. Jedi for Life. How about that Leaf game? Let's talk about that Leaf game. Everyone in the chat, give your opinion on that Leaf game because I watched it. A barn burner. I really thought the Leafs were going to pull it out there, guys. I know. It's the Leafs 0-8 in the Matthews and Marner era in closeout games. And I thought yesterday was going to be it. But if you guys took the hockey lock of the last 2 years, Lightning after a loss, you cashed there. It's going to be a sweaty game 7. Braden Point obviously scoring the overtime winner was not a surprise. He's done this for the last 2 years. So shout out to the Leafs for trying hard, I guess. But the Lightning showed that championship resolve, kind of like what the Bucks did to the Celtics. They just they bend, and they just don't break. And it turned out to be a successful day for them. But I think Game 7 is going to be interesting, and I like the Leafs, which is weird to say. LJ from Houston in here. What up? Friday the 13th. It is Friday the 13th. Wow. So everyone tread lightly, and double check your back seats in your cars, everyone. Jerry Beatty, what's up, my man? I appreciate the Spanish in there. I always shout out to Spanish. Julian Cesare, the author in here. The author, I like to call him in my head. Shout out to Julian. 3-0 in NHL, 4-1 overall. Ricky Bobby, Mark Schillingberg, D. Jenkins, Brian Arpin, Abel A. Osby, Danny Lopez. You guys, Penny, what's up, my man? Hopefully you can drop some horse racing in the chat. Maybe we can tell you today for some horse racing. I don't know. We'll see. LJ, like he's saying here, he cashed the Lightning, no fucking doubt. And yes, Nasty Nate, let's go, Nate. We need it today, Nate. We need it bad. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. Obviously, we'll go NHL, MLB, NBA, but we need it. I willed on my Oilers and my guy Connor McDavid last night by wearing the Oilers jersey, and the Celtics, they need it bad tonight. They need it bad. Mr. MDR, Real DJ, what's up, guys? Teflon Don. Big couple days for future in the NHL and NBA playoffs. Should I be worried about the Suns? I don't think so, Teflon. I've got a future on the Suns as well to win the West. It's not a great odds. I had even money, but I would like them to win as well, and I'm pretty confident in them. But Luka's a bad man. Luka is a bad man. Now, enough of me talking NHL, because I know that we're all here for one man to hear the fine NHL talk. We'll talk about all these games heading in today. 3 good games. Series might be ending today. A lot of 3-2s, all 3-2s, and I'm excited to talk to him about it. My guy, your guy, Mr. Ian Cameron Bobano in the joint. Bobano, how's it going?
Jose, good to be with you. Good job filling in for our guy Jimmy the Bag this week. Yeah, the NHL first round's been fantastic. 7 of the 8 first round series going to at least 6 games. We already have 3 game 7s lined up for Saturday. Boston, Carolina, Tampa, Toronto, Edmonton, LA, and a potential for up to 3 more game 7s after tonight. So, I mean, you can't ask for better than that. I mean, it's been a very competitive first round.
Yeah, it always is in the NHL, Bobano. It always is. I always think that it's like I look at the NHL playoffs. I'm like, oh, we're already in the semifinals. Oh no, we're in the first round. The matchups are always just that good. The Bruins forced that game 7. Not surprising. I didn't wear the jersey because I was that confident, obviously. But tomorrow will be a different factor in Raleigh, so we'll see. Excited to talk about these games, Bobano. But first. I wanted to give you the platform. Obviously, let's talk about that Leafs game, because that's what everyone's talking about in the hockey world. And I want to say, what were your thoughts about the game overall? The Lightning coming back and winning. Initial thoughts on Game 7, and I'd like to know, Boban, are you going to be in the building? You're going to shell out those shekels to get to Toronto, and going to be in the building? I don't know.
No, that's not happening. No, that's not happening. I'm not. First of all, I'm not a Leaf fan. That's number one. Number two. I'd rather watch all the games, and I know that if I go there, there's going to be, after parties and all this shit going on. So, no, I'll be watching from home tomorrow. But no, it's going to be an unbelievable environment outside the building, because that's also what it's been like for Toronto Raptors games in the playoffs when they've been there. The environment outside the arena is even wilder than inside. And it's going to be that way tomorrow night. This is basically 18 years of frustration, futility, failure. There you go, 3 Fs. Frustration, futility, and failure of the last 18 years for this franchise. It's going to basically essentially come down once again to one more Game 7 tomorrow night. And we're going to find out. Austin Matthews had a great quote after that game. And I loved it. Doesn't mean they're going to win the game, but I love the mindset. We need to put our balls on the line and go after it. That's essentially what he said after it's true. Like, they're obviously playing for, I don't want to say their individual manhood, but they're kind of playing for the manhood of the franchise, if you will. Because all people think of, anybody that was born in the late 90s, who, by the way, those people are in their 20s now, so it's not like they're young kids. Anybody that was born in the late 90s, exactly, including you, Mr. Bouquett, anybody that was born in the late 90s or onward, all they know about the Toronto Maple Leafs is what an epic failure they've been. There's nothing good has happened. Okay, they've been to the playoffs a bunch of times, but they've never, ever won a playoff series. They've been like the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL up until last year. All those years under Marvin Lewis and Andy Dalton, they'd get to the playoffs, never win a game. That's what the Leafs have been here all this time. And those people that are young in their 20s, they know nothing about success of this franchise, because the last time they won a playoff series was 2004, when MySpace was the dominant social media platform. They haven't won a playoff series in high-def television. Think about that. HD TV's been around for a long time now, and the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won a playoff series that anybody can watch in an HD broadcast. That's how bad this has been, this 18-year drought. So it's all coming down to tomorrow night. And when you look back, Jose, at last night's game, the Leafs just somehow find a way to lose. Now, last night, I don't think you can say, oh, they choked. Oh, they were horrible. Oh, the effort was piss poor. No, the effort was great. This reminded me of Game 6 in Montreal last year, where it went to overtime. They had a chance to close out the series. They dominated the overtime last year in Montreal. Montreal comes down, gets one good chance, and they make good on it. That was kind of last night. Toronto dominated the overtime. Andre Vasilevsky had to make a couple saves, and then Tampa Bay comes down and they get the goal from Braden Point. On their one and only, not only chance, but one of their few good chances they had in overtime. And it's just, here we go. That's the Leafs. It just, for some reason, there's a bad bounce. There's a bad penalty at the wrong time, like the 5-on-3, which led to the Kucherov goal to tie the game in the third period. A high sticking. You give that team a 5-on-3 for a minute 50, you're in trouble when you give that to Tampa Bay. And sure enough, that's what happened there. Toronto Maple Leafs proved again, just a play here, a bad penalty at a bad time in the third period there, a couple of missed chances here and there in overtime, and they fail to get the puck away from their own net, which allows Braden Point to score in overtime. Just a few plays here, a penalty there, and once again, the Leafs proved that the Lemony Snicket of the NHL. A series of unfortunate events always keeps this damn team from doing anything.
Yeah, it's shocking. And by the way, a lot of great comments during that, and I appreciate your rant there, Bobano. It's always lyrical, and it transports me to another realm. I can see it all just vividly if I close my eyes. But I would like to give a special shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning guy in the Leaf Square, and I think they call it Jurassic Park. I'll still call it Jurassic Park while the Leafs are there. But that was just comedy. I respect that guy because he cares about his safety. I'm the exact opposite. If that was me, I would have exploded and I would have just gotten jumped right then and there. That's what I figured was going to happen to me last year during Game 6 of the ALCS when I thought the Red Sox were going to go to the World Series. Instead, I left the Houston Astros stadium as quickly as possible, Bobano, as quickly as humanly possible. But you know what? Let's get into these games as quickly as humanly possible, Bobano, because we've got 3 good ones here. And let's talk about this New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins game first. Louis Domingue versus Igor Shesterkin projected again. And let's all admit, this is all about one guy only. It's all about Crosby here. Is Crosby playing? How's his head doing? How's his neck doing? Didn't skate on morning skates this morning. And I'll just underline how important Crosby is. 5-on-5 with Crosby, scoring chances 58 to 18, 58 to 18 in favor of the Pittsburgh Penguins there. So dominant with Crosby on the ice. It's shocking to see that. In my weekend of watching hockey, little week spree of watching hockey, it's Carter Verhaeghe, it's Connor McDavid, and it is Sidney Crosby. Those are the 3 guys that are like, okay, those are the guys that those teams cannot live without right now because Verhaeghe's doing everything. McDavid's obviously Jesus, and Crosby is right there with him as well. So, Bobano, can you move on this game without knowing Crosby's status? You know, obviously, a little more about how they handle these situations than I do. And we obviously know they play them close to the vest. They won't even say anything. It's just an upper body injury. But what are you leaning towards here if you haven't made a play on it?
Yeah, obviously that is it's unbelievable how in one game the series has really shifted. It's not at the point yet where if you're panicking if you're Pittsburgh, and you shouldn't. You've got a home game to close out this series. You're still up 3-2 and a chance to finish things off tonight. But all of a sudden you lose game 5 and you had a 2-0 lead. It slips away. You lose Sidney Crosby in that game to injury. Upper body is what we're hearing. A game time decision is most likely what it's going to be for him tonight. But unfortunately that's all we've got, and we're probably not going to know more until after the morning skate at the very least, which I believe is taking place right now. So maybe within the next half an hour or an hour, we'll probably hear of something from Mike Sullivan. He'll speak to the media following the morning skate, which is probably taking place right now. So maybe we'll get an update at that time, but it's probably going to be game time decision call here for Sidney Crosby tonight. Regardless of whether he's in or out, I mean, I'm on over 6 here. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Every game in this series has gone over the total. 5 straight overs here in this series. 4-3, 5-2, 7-4, 7-2, 5-3 have been the scores. That's the way I'm going to approach it here. With or without Crosby, I like it enough to bet it. It's 6 minus 120 with the total at DraftKings right now. So that's what we'll roll with here, the over in this game. As far as the side goes, look, I already have the Rangers to win the series. That's good enough for me. I'm not going to pile on. I did take the Rangers in game 5, but I figured at home Pittsburgh could afford to lose one. The Rangers were good enough to stay alive, and boy, they were. They played a good game. It was just Sturkin finally, had to make a couple of saves in the third period to preserve that lead. Maybe that gives him some confidence going into tonight. And more than anything, everybody stepped up. Lafreniere, a huge goal. And Lafreniere might be worth a look from a prop standpoint. I think he's had a very good series for the Rangers here so far. That might be worth a look. But I like the over here. I'm going to stick to that. As far as the side goes, I'll probably be off it. But I like the over. And I also like, if you can find it, some books, BetMGM stands out. Some books offer third period totals. So if you have access to that, I will have the third period over in all 3 NHL games tonight because they're elimination games, and the elimination game third period over trend is real. The reason for that is because teams that are trailing often have to open up the game, take chances, take risks, pinch the defenseman, try to keep plays alive, and of course they pull the goalie much earlier if they're trailing, a team facing elimination in the third period. So the result is usually a deluge of goals in the third period of a Stanley Cup playoff elimination game. So that is definitely something I would be looking at here in every game. And in this game, the third period total right now, let me just see, it's currently, I will find it in just a sec. The third period total here in this game is, there it is. It's over 2 plus 1 minus 155 is the price on that. Or you could go over 2.5 plus 125. But I'll go for the 2 at minus 155. Lay a little more juice there, but it's a little safer doing that. So over 2 minus 155 third period as well. And I will have the third period over as a play in each game tonight.
Beautiful. Are you going to make those officials for the show, Bobano?
Yes, both of them. Over 6 minus 120 full game. Over 2 minus 155 third period as well for this game.
Beautiful. Over 2 in the third period, minus 155, you said, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Beautiful. So we wrote both of those down because I am a good record keeper, Bobano.
That's good.
I'm a good record keeper, Bobano. And let's remember, everyone,
you've got to be. You got to follow his footsteps.
Beat me if I didn't keep the records, right?
You'd probably be on your ass if you didn't. So that's another reason. Yeah.
So I am, by the way, Bobano, I don't know if you know this, but I am tailing all of my guest plays this week. It's been very successful for me so far. And Gokster actually said the same thing you did about the third periods. They pulled the goalies early. So yep. I like both these looks. I'm riding with you, Bobano. Over 6 at minus 120, you said, and the over 2 for Correct. The third period. I'm very excited about that. Jojo Rich asking, where's Jimmy? By the way, Jimmy right now, I assume he's got his feet in the sand. He's enjoying the nice waters of Clearwater. Actually, he's probably
a little sloshed, perhaps too. Although the fans with him, so maybe.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, he's actually probably in Orlando, maybe, and he might be just neck deep in Disney and just getting a fucking nice red sunburn when he comes back. I cannot wait for that. Shout out to my guy Jimmy. Hope you're enjoying vacation. All right, so second game on the docket here, the comeback Cats, as the announcers continually refer to these Florida Panthers, versus the Washington Capitals here. Sergei Bobrovsky versus Ilya Samsonov. I mentioned Carter Verhaeghe. He is that good, apparently. I've fallen in love with him with the last couple of games. He's slowly climbing up my Pocky players I like rankings. Obviously, McDavid is one on that. I've got an assortment of Bruins players, but Verhaeghe, I like him, man. He's been fantastic this year. The Caps blow that 3-goal lead. They blow the lead in the previous game. And I've heard people say that it's like, I don't know, it's unsustainable, basically, that you can make these comebacks in the playoffs. But apparently not. And now they're a minus 180 favorite on the road. And Bobano, simple question here. Are the Capitals done? Because I think plus 155 is pretty steep, or I guess pretty high for a Capitals team. We know how veteran savvy they are. They haven't won a playoff series since the Stanley Cup, but still, right?
Yeah, that's true. And when you look at Washington here, that was a weird game, really weird. That 5-3 game in Game 5, because Washington dominated the first half of the game. Like they were up 3-0. The power play came through. They really kept Florida at bay. And then all of a sudden, and Peter Laviolette said it after the game, we started turning the puck over. It's just crazy. All of a sudden, we were managing the puck so well, for the first half of that game. And all of a sudden, we were feeding their transition game, and we were just giving it up too easily to them. And when you do that, you're going to pay the price for it because they've got that much firepower, that much depth offensively, and that's exactly what happened. So, and it completely changed the game around. They took too many chances. They turned the puck over a little bit. There was the game to push it to 3-0 where I liked everything we did. And then there was the game that took place after that. If you play against a team like Florida that is a high-octane team, we're just feeding them, and we can't. We've got to get back to that first part of the game, and you've got to play that way consistently for 60 minutes. It's true. Turnovers and just letting the Florida Panthers get those odd man rush chances, which they had a bunch of in the second half, and they weren't allowing any of those early in the game. It was like they just shut their minds off and figured, hey, 3-0, our work is done. And it doesn't work that. And you shouldn't think that way against a team like Florida, but sometimes you get a little complacent with a lead, and Washington paid the price for it. And Florida, 5 unanswered, they win 5-3. Give Florida credit too. I mean, that's what they're good at. They don't give up in games. They've always got the firepower to come back in a hockey game, and they certainly showed that the other night. It was a very good performance. Sam Reinhart's been very good the last couple of games, but Carter Verhaeghe, especially, both ends of the ice, offensively, defensively, scored 2 goals in that victory the other night. He had the 2-goal performance in Game 4 as well, including the overtime winner in that game. Carter Verhaeghe's been magnificent. I think if you're going to look at props, I always say ride the hot hand. And Carter Verhaeghe right now, if you want to look at goal scorer prop or a points prop with him tonight, you could definitely go in that direction. There's no question. I don't want to lay minus 180 against the veteran leadership this Washington team has. I expect them to answer the bell and play a hell of a game tonight. The question is it going to be enough to win? I don't expect them to, be beaten without a fight tonight in this game. Kind of like we saw with Tampa Bay last night. 2-time defending champs, a lot of experience in the playoffs, and sure enough, they forced a Game 7. I don't know if Washington will, but I know Washington will play one hell of a hard game tonight on home ice. When you have Ovechkin and you have Kuznetsov and Oshie and Backstrom and John Carlson and go on down the list of there's multiple players that were on this team that won a Stanley Cup against Vegas a few years ago. They're not going to see their season slip away without a serious battle. So for me, I don't have anything yet on this game, but I do lean to the plus number actually with Washington here in this game. And also, what I might jump on is Washington first period as well. Something to look at because you would expect in the first 20 minutes that Washington is going to really bring a strong effort. You know what? Like I say, I don't usually hold things back on this show. I'm high volume as it is, and there are only 3 games tonight. I'm going to go ahead with that. Let me see if I can find the best number. I will in just a sec here. Because
beautiful. Do that while I shout out the chat, Bobano.
Yes.
Shout out to Red Girl, of course. She cashed cashed her slap that ass play of the day, and she's on the Calgary and Florida full game unders there. Shout out to you, Red Girl. I think hopefully on Monday I'll have some time to create that graphic, Red Girl. So let's see if I can come up with something. Viper MB, I should say, dropping his plays in there. Shout out to you, Vipe. Dennis Garcia, obviously calling them the Florida frauds. And Bobano, just a quick question for you when you find that line, or after you find that line. Jake Burns wants to know, does the playoff hockey go back and forth like this? This is first year betting, and it shit's crazy. I can tell you that scoring is definitely increased. That's the big to do with playoff hockey right now. Everyone's shocked that scoring is up this much, but does it go back and forth this much, Bobano?
It definitely can. You know what's weird about this first round is that there's a lot of series. 7 of the 8 got to a Game 6. We already have 3 going to a Game 7. Yet in a lot of these series, game to game, they've not necessarily all been close. We've seen a lot of lopsided final scores, but yet it's been back and forth. One team's won 5-1, and the next team's come back and they've won 5-2 or something like that. It's been like that in a lot of series. However, Toronto Tampa Bay is the one exception. We've had back-to-back 1-goal tight games in that series. The 4-3 win for Toronto in Game 5, and then of course the overtime game won by Tampa last night. But it's been weird where it's been back and forth in terms of wins and losses. But yet game to game, it's been more wins and losses back and forth between the two teams. But 5-1 in the one game, 5-2 in the next game, 4-1 in the one game, 5-3, 5-2, 5-3 in the next game. We haven't necessarily seen tight, one goal, exciting threat of overtime type of situations here. So that's been the weird part about this first round. We've had a lot of series that are going the distance, 6-7 games. Makes you think, wow, what an exciting, incredible series it's been. Yeah, but in a lot of these games in each of these series, they've been lopsided blowouts. So it's a weird dynamic going on.
Yeah, I think these playoffs are very exciting. What line did you end up getting for the Capitals?
Plus 132 Capitals first period. And Billy's right. That's about the best you can get with that. And I'm actually going to tack on the full game. I will tack on the full game as well with the Capitals. Plus 160 at Caesars, best price.
Plus 160. And it was first period money line, correct? Just to make sure?
That's right. Yeah, both of the money line. Yep.
Beautiful.
Oh, and Florida, Washington over 2.5, plus 110 third period.
Oh, yes, of course.
Third period overs, yep.
Let's write that down. Third period over. You said what was the number for this one, Bobano? Sorry.
Over 2.5, plus 110. I wanted the 2, but the 2 is actually close to minus 170 in this game, so I'm not laying that much. We'll take a shot with the 2.5.
Yeah, you could easily see both of these teams getting one goal in the third, and then just get your empty net out of there.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
So that's a good one. We've got Bobano 5 plays today. I'm excited for my NHL card today. It's gonna be thick. I cannot wait. Last game on the docket, a game I thought I was going to be able to go to, and then I realized it's today and not tomorrow. So I was very disappointed to figure that out. Stars versus the Flames in Dallas here. Tickets are pretty cheap, Boban. I was pretty shocked to see that, actually. Tickets are like $80 to get in the building for a Game 6. I was like, oh, okay. That's like $800 to get into a Game 6 for Celtics Bucks. So that's pretty interesting. I think Dallas might be done here, Bobano, and I think Calgary might have just figured them out a little bit. And I don't know. I wanted to ask you this: Dallas is not scoring this series. They're not scoring at all. Obviously, they're a defensive squad. It seems like their reputation says at least, but they've got guys like Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin. So is it just them not being a good offensive team, or are those guys not showing up, or is it the Calgary Flames just being the real deal and just locking them down this much?
Well, I think Calgary's the better of these two teams, and I think it's just taken a while for them to realize it and make it look that way on the ice. They're starting to, and what's important for Calgary is they've not gotten frustrated by the way Dallas plays. I don't want to see Dallas in the second round, not because I hate the city or I hate the franchise or I dislike any of the players in particular, but this style that they play in the playoffs in this round has been atrocious to watch. Brutal. Makes your eyes bleed. It's like watching paint dry. I mean, all this team does, game in and game out, try to get the first goal, and then if they get the first goal, which they did in Game 2 and which they did in Game 5, although Calgary came back, but all they did was park the bus and sit on it. That's all they did. They didn't even try to get a second goal. They would just sit back, clear the zone, let Calgary try to, enter the offensive zone, sit back, clear the puck out. That's all they were doing. And that's just a horrible style of hockey for any fan or anybody watching to have to sit through. And I don't want to see that in the next round. And I don't think that's the kind of hockey that should win you a Stanley Cup. I know, look, defensive hockey is important. I get it. Protecting a lead is important. But when you protect a lead, Jose, you're still supposed to have in mind, let's try to get another goal. Let's try to get an insurance goal. Let's try to make it 2-0. Let's try to make it 3-0. Dallas doesn't even try that. They have just basically said, we're going to get one, and we're going to try to make it stand up. And that's just horrible to have to watch that shit night in and night out. And Calgary, thankfully, tied the game in the third period. And they ended up scoring a couple more, including an empty netter, 3-1 to win Game 5. I think they will finish off Dallas one of these next two games, either tonight or back in Calgary, if it goes to Game 7. I don't know if I want to lay minus 160, but I know I'm not betting Dallas. I know that. I think Calgary's kind of starting to show that they're the superior team. They've got a little bit more up front. They've got 4 lines that can all kind of chip in. For Dallas, all their offense comes from 3 guys pretty much. Robertson, Rupe Hintz, and Joe Pavelski, who's a big-time playoff performer. But that's about it. Jamie Benn hasn't shown up in this series. Tyler Seguin has had a bunch of chances but has missed every one. It's just a Dallas team that, and on defense, Calgary can match them, actually, I think, at the defensive end. That's the thing. When Calgary gets a lead, they're pretty good at defending it as well. But unlike Dallas, Calgary still tries to score again. Like, remember, Jose, in Game 4, Calgary took the lead. They didn't try to stop scoring another goal. They kept, attacking. Dallas didn't do that. So to me, that's why I want Dallas out. This style of play is just horrible. It doesn't belong in the Stanley Cup playoffs. This team was very, very lucky as fuck to even get in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Vegas fell ass over tea kettle down the stretch to not get in, and that helped Dallas out. And Vancouver put on a push, but it was just too late from them to get in. So Dallas had to get into the playoffs by the skin of their teeth. They're lucky to be here. I think Calgary will send them home. It's just a matter of whether it's tonight or whether it's Sunday night in the Game 7. So I'm not involved in the game from a side perspective, but I do have one official play, and you know what that is. It's our third period over. We are involved with that here in this game. Let me just confirm what the number is with that for Calgary-Dallas. Third period over here is actually a much better price because it's been a low-scoring series. So we can actually get the third period over here in this game at over 2 plus 105 at BetMGM. So third period over, Calgary-Dallas, over 2 plus 105.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Love that, Bobano. We have a rather dense hockey card, and I am excited about it. Of course, I trust all of my guests wholly and fully. Gokster was the guest for hockey these last 2 days. He only had like 2-3 plays on the card. Bobano, high volume, as he says. High volume, as he says. I cannot wait.
By the way, if you're keeping track of the third period overs, last night, 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 push, but profitable. 2-1-1 in the 4 games. The 2 overs were Boston, Carolina. That third period went over. LA, Edmonton. That third period went over. The one that lost was Toronto, Tampa. There was only 1 goal in the third period. And the one that pushed 2 goals was Minnesota, St. Louis. So 2-1-1 with third period overs last night.
Hey, I'm on it. We're riding it. Ghoster said it yesterday too, so it makes a whole lot of sense. Those goalies are coming out earlier and earlier. Shout out to the chat. Let's see what they are saying as well. Ronnie Unvergia saying the same thing you are saying. It's bad for the league when you're trying to attract viewers in the United States. You don't want to see this shitty hockey. Raven in the Desert saying Dallas wins tonight, but Ron Crawford's got spreadsheet play of the day in the NHL on the Calgary Flame. Beautiful. Nasty Nate asking me if I put a full unit on your guest plays. I do, Nasty Nate. It's been saving me. My baseball has been that bad that this is the only thing that's saving me these last couple of days. So they are doing great. Nasty Nate, I appreciate you asking. YouTube loss in here. Lucky Power. Puzzler saying Dallas might try to change tactics. Calgary won't. Jake Burns lamenting the fact he's going against spreadsheet. Row your boat on the under. Raven in the Desert likes the game going to 7. And by the way, a lot of shout outs to the 90s Devils with the hockey goalie that is very good. And I do not remember his name, Bobano. Can you enlighten me again? Really gold. He's one of the best goalies of all time. I just can't remember his name now.
For who?
The Devils when they won all their Stanley Cup.
Marty Brodeur. Yeah.
There you go, Brodeur.
Yeah.
And he was kind of built different too. He set up his defense, and he was like, "You guys stand here. I'm going to save the puck here. So you guys just do your thing. I'll do mine." So shout out to Mr. Brodeur there. Let's recap your Bobano NHL plays here. So far, we've got the over 6 minus 120 and the over in the third period over 2 minus 155 in Pittsburgh, New York Rangers. Washington Capitals first period money line plus 132 and full game money line plus 160. The Florida Washington Capitals over 2, I should say, in the third period plus 110, and Calgary Dallas third period over 2 at plus 105 for
Just one
Bouquet.
last note with Calgary Dallas. That's been a low-scoring series. Every game but one has gone under the total. But the last 3 games with the third period of that series, we saw 2 goals, 4 goals, and 3 goals in the third periods of the last 3 Stars Flames games in that series. So the third periods have opened up in that series, at least the last 3 games of it.
Yeah, if it's going to be any period, it's going to be the third period. Let's get right into our next topic here, Bobano, and it is the Major League Baseball
Labor!
Let's do it, Bobano. We're getting old, Bobano. We're officially getting old. Say Hey plays 37. Say Hey plays.
Oh, yeah, this counts towards your counter because there's no 5:30 show.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people were saying, I should say a lot of people, it was actually just Moose Money. Moose Money is saying you should just double up the counter. It could be up like 50 by now. But, I'm an honest man. We're going game by day. Game by game.
You're like me. You don't want to break down the same damn card twice in the same day.
Yeah. I think that would be a little boring. Unfortunately, I am not that entertaining for everyone. But the baseball is, and Bobano, I finally had a winning day yesterday. It took everything I could, all the emotional and physical energy I could muster. I was like, at one point, I was like, up. 1-4, here we come. Or 1-3, here we come. And the fucking Dodgers woke up. Thank you to the Phillies for blowing that lead again. Dodgers team total over 4 and 4.5. That cash. The Houston-Minnesota second game under, obviously, because the first game was weird. And then I lost on Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates over in that game. 2 pitchers that faced the hitters again and dominated again, which was pretty surprising to me. But shout out to them. Bobano, how's your baseball season been so far? I'm excited to talk about this slate because there's a lot of pitchers I like today.
Baseball overall started off terrible for the first week or two. Just absolutely terrible. But it's been a little bit better. It's still not where it needs to be or where I want it to be, but at least we're putting together a couple of nice winning days. We always have that real bad day right in the middle of a nice little run. That's been the way it's been in baseball. But no, things are getting better. We're just barely below break even right now. So small negative loss on the year, but nothing to fret about. It's certainly been a lot steadier the last, I would say, couple of weeks. Yesterday, for example, it was hit or miss. Again, one of those days, where you had some ups and some downs. Wednesday was very good for me. In MLB, and then yesterday was a bit of a more up and down day. That's been my season pretty much, but we're looking forward to the card today, so let's get to it.
Yes, let's get to it. First game on the docket, we've got those Cincinnati Reds versus the Pittsburgh Pirates game we just mentioned. Tyler Mahle versus Mitch Keller, and it feels like I have seen this matchup on paper I don't know how many times, Bobano. I don't know how many times it feels like I've seen Tyler Mahle versus Mitch Keller. It just seems like it happens frequently with these guys, and they're always 2 teams that are never in the fight. But I guess, I did not add or play anything overnight because last night or the last couple of nights I haven't been, and it's been kind of, turning my season for me, perhaps, talking everything out as my father, Jimmy the Bag, would do. Mahle, yeah, earlier in the season he was great, and then he had his blow up starts, and it kind of Jekyll and Hyde Mahle again. I'm not 100% sure what you get from him from start to start. Versus the Pirates last time out for Mahle, 5 innings of 1 hit ball, 2 earned runs off a home run, 6 Ks for him, 3 walks. Mitch Keller at the Reds last time out, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 Ks, and 3 walks for Mitchell Helen Keller. And we have to pay tribute to Mitch. We have to shout him out, of course, as he properly deserves on this program. He does look like that from time to time pitching, and it's particularly when you bet unders on Mitch Keller. He just tends to blow up on you. So I don't have anything on this one so far. We've got the 12th best team against righties these last 2 weeks with the Reds, 113 weighted runs created plus, which is an obvious big boost. And we need to mention this now. Reds have been hot recently at 5-5. The Detroit Tigers are 1-9 and are The Reds are one win away from tying them record-wise. Detroit Tigers are horrible this year. Oh, my God.
They're one of my biggest disappointments because I expected progress from them, and, man, it hasn't happened, at least not yet.
Well, Bill Banner, you know who my biggest disappointment are so far, and I don't have to say them yet.
No.
Ultimately, I did not move on this game. I think Matty Ice is saying in the chat here, let me double check, that he is on the under, or he likes the under in this game. Yep, he says like this game under the total. Bet Big Ragu on the over 8, or likes the over 8, and immediately says, uh-oh. So that's very funny. Shout out to you, Ragu, my man. Billy Friedrich saying, isn't Molly the name of your dog, Jose? Yes, it is. Shout out to Molly the dog. It's not spelled like Tyler Malley or Molly, but
it's Tyler. It's Tyler Malley.
Yeah. Maybe I like thinking of my dog.
Molly. Tyler Molly. That's how you say it. Or Malley. Malley is the way you say it. Yeah.
I just like thinking of my dog, Bobano, on a nice Friday morning.
I know. I get it.
Yeah. I miss Molly the dog, I guess. That's why I'm saying Tyler Molly. So shout out to Molly the dog. But I got nothing on this one, Bobano. What about you?
So Malley's one of those guys that I really wanted to back a lot this year. I thought he'd be one of the better starters for the Reds. He's been too up and down for my liking. But I'm going to take Cincy, first 5 in full game split here. And this is not anything to do with first of all, I don't mind fading Mitch Keller at any point. That's for sure. There's still people that think that this guy's going to become something great at some point. I'm still waiting. It's not been good at all for him. He's not had a good track record either against the Reds. He just got bombed, by the way, last week when he played Cincinnati. They gave up 5 runs, 6 hits, and 4.1 innings. The problem is, in that start or in that game, the Reds pitcher wasn't very good either. So Pittsburgh still won, but Keller didn't pitch well against the Reds. And this is what I love at this, any time of year in baseball. It's a long season. Nobody wanted any part of Cincinnati when they were just dreadful the first month of the year. But guess what? They're starting to play some better baseball. Slowly but surely, Cincinnati is coming around after that brutal first month. They're playing a little bit better. They're undervalued right now because of that awful start. They've gone 5-2 in their last 7 games. They beat Pittsburgh 4-0 in the series opener yesterday. Great start from Overton. The Pittsburgh bats are still, I question them. They get shut out yesterday. They only score 1 run against Gonsolin and the Dodgers in that series. They did get a 5-3 win against the Dodgers after that, but it's just inconsistency from them at the plate. More than anything here, this is just, the Reds are starting to show a bet on sign, a buy sign toward them, undervalued because of how brutal they were early in the year. And I think when all things are considered equal, I coming into the year, you asked me which of these 2 pitchers would I want to back more. It certainly would be Tyler Malley here instead of Mitch Keller. So I'm going to take Cincinnati here, first 5 in a full game money line split.
I do not hate that. What did you get those lines at, Boban? Are you making those official, I assume?
Oh, yeah, definitely making them official. The first 5 innings is, let me just double check. I believe minus 110. I think actually we'll get something a little better at one of my favorite places here, Pinnacle. Yeah, we'll get minus 106 with Cincinnati at Pinnacle, first 5. And we will get in terms of the full game, it's going to be, hold on, that's hockey. We don't need hockey anymore. There we go. Minus 104 at Pinnacle. So there you go. Minus 106 first 5, minus 104 full game.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Bo Banna. We've got a dense card today. Cannot wait for that. Nice and 8. You were asking about unit size for the guest bets. With Bobano, there might have to be half unit bets for how much we're adding on here, but I'm excited to add them all. I'm excited to see it. I cannot wait. A lot of good stuff coming in the chat here. Paco Healy on Reds money line. Billy Friedrichs got you Reds full game money line at minus 102 on bookmakers, so we'll give you that one, Bobano. There you go. Shout out to you, my man, Billy. And by the way, we've got an official word apparently from Sean Dozier saying Crosby out tonight. Out.
I knew we'd find out pretty soon because it's just after the morning skate, and that's always when the coaches speak to the media for the first time during the day and prior to the game on game day, and there it is, Crosby out.
Yeah, that's not surprising there. I kind of expected them to sit him out.
I did too. Yeah.
And then, game 7 with everything on the line, concussion or not, Crosby will probably be out there, would be my assumption. Next game on the docket here, Miami Marlins versus the Milwaukee Brewers here. 2 of my faves. Well, I should say one of my faves. And let's talk about it, everyone. I think it's kind of getting old now because it's just the same segment every time. It's the same thing every time, but everyone enjoys the pitcher. So let's do it. Did Pablo Lopez respond today? Unfortunately, he did not. He did not respond. But we're still friends. And when I go visit my sister in Miami, I'll hit him up, be like, hey, you want to, go get some Venezuelan food? And I'm sure he'll say yes. I mean, why wouldn't he? Obvious under spot here for me. First thoughts on this game, Bobano. Corbin Burns, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 7 Ks, and a walk last time out at the Atlanta Braves. A Braves team that's not hitting the best, but at the Braves is impressive to leave them with only 2 runs there. Chicago Cubs, the team that blew him up the first start of the season, if you remember that. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs off a home run, 10 Ks, and 1 walk. And versus the Giants at home, 6 2/3, 2 hit ball, no earned runs, 11 Ks, and 2 walks for Burnsy. Pablo Lopez on the other side, phenomenal. Venezuela's best and brightest. I can't wait for the Baseball World Classic so Pablo Lopez can start for Venezuela and dice up Team Dominican and Team USA. I cannot wait for that. At the Padres, 8 innings of 5 hit ball, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks for Pablo. Phenomenal. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 1 home run allowed at home versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. So he definitely seems like he's flipping that script about him being only bet on at home, dominate on the road there. And he's kind of struggled at home, but still, I would still bet on him at home. And he's just being a total bet on pitcher now. Right now, plus 126 for Pablo Lopez and the Miami Marlins. Pretty surprising. You obviously have a first 5 at 3 as a total. So maybe lean towards the under here, but that low number scares me. And the Milwaukee Brewers right now, 3rd against righties, 131 weighted runs created plus for them. So a lot of concerns, a lot of red flags. I wanted to bet it last night, but like I said, I didn't. I wanted to talk it out first. Bobana, what do you have here?
Yeah, this is I like Pablo Lopez, and Burns usually I like as well. But when you look at it here, long road trip, by the way, for Miami, but coming back home from that's always, a little worry. But at the same time, they get a day off, which I like. And I think that alleviates some of this, what could have been, maybe a little bit of a trouble spot. I kind of lean to the home dog here, Miami, a little bit. I mean, Pablo at home, is very, very good. He's been pitched well in this park, 1.59 ERA this year so far, 2-1 the Marlins in his 3 home starts, 5-1 they are in his 6 home starts overall. So definitely he's pitched well in this ballpark. The bullpen has actually been very good for Miami. 3.35 is their bullpen ERA coming into this game. So it definitely feels like it could be a low scoring start. But man, whenever you talk about these 6.5 full game totals, you right away, you're going to be dealing with 3.5 and 3 with the first 5 total under, and that's what you get. I mean, it's just the wiggle room is just not there for me to bet that. But certainly it feels like it's going to be a low scoring start. But I'm going to go with the Marlins here, and I'm going to actually make this official. I just like the value you're getting here. Getting a home team, day off after a road trip. Burns he's been good, but they've not won for him as well. I think that's something to keep in mind. The win-loss record for the Brewers with him on the mound hasn't been as great. I like the price you're getting here with the Miami Marlins here as home underdogs. So I'm going to go with the another first 5 full game split here, Marlins.
Yeah, the Bobano split is in full effect here for my guy Bobano. What numbers are you getting at for those first 5?
First 5 is plus 135 at Caesars, and the full game is plus, let me just see, plus 134 bet online.
Beautiful. Dense card, excited about it, Bobano. I'm behind on graphics and such, and I obviously need to get a Bobano split graphic in order because that just needs to be Freddie Freeman with your face on there doing the splits. Very simple. Cannot wait for it. Bobano split there. Miami first 5 full game. Next game on the docket. Nothing for me, by the way. Nothing yet. It's going to be interesting to see where I make my moves. Might have to be after all of this, but we'll be excited. And by the way, Bobano, we're living on the edge today. We're living on the edge. Some inside
living on the edge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're inside baseball. We've got the laptop here at 13%. The computer back there has died on me twice already this week, so I can't wait. This is going to be an interesting show, Bo Bano. It's going to be an interesting show and an interesting game. Framber Valdez, Washington Nationals, Houston Astros. Josiah Gray. I'd like Framber. You guys all know that, and I would love to take the Astros in some form or fashion here, but Josiah Gray has been pretty good this year. He's obviously, I've mentioned it before, one of the highlights, I should say, in the Max Scherzer deal. So, he goes 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs, 3 Ks, 2 walks at the Angels, which is pretty good. I would say that's a good start for Josiah Gray. At the Giants, 6 innings of 1 hit ball, no earned runs, 3 Ks, 4 walks. And versus the Miami Marlins at home, 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 10 Ks, 3 walks. So if he gets his walks in order, I think Josiah Gray could be a really good pitcher in this league. Framber Valdez, I think Framber Valdez is very much a victim of pitching to his opponent's level, essentially. So like when he's playing like a team that sucks, like a Nationals, something like that, I feel like he doesn't like give it at all. He's not like completely locked in, whatever you want to make the case. Versus the Detroit Tigers, a team that I thought he should dominate. 6 innings, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, and a walk. At the Toronto Blue Jays, 6 1/3, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks. And at the Texas Rangers, 6 innings, 4 hits of 1 run ball, not even earned, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Bobano, honestly, I think I would want to lean towards an under here, but I would want to hear what you have to say. Both these teams are hitting pretty well. Right now, the Nationals against lefties are 12th, 106 weighted runs created plus. And while the Astros, they obviously have fixed their shit, 136 weighted runs created plus against righties, second in the league. So a lot of conflicting factors here. And by the way, shout out to Matt Randall for dropping the Tame Play of the Day in the chat. We will talk about that when we get there. It will be coming up soon, but thank you, Matty Ice. A great bet. And I think I will be joining you on that bet because you guys know I love those team totals at 3.5. Bobano, tell me what you got in this game.
Yeah, I like over, actually. Over 8 with the Astros and the Nationals. Nationals can hit some lefties. We know that. That's always been something it's been their strong suit, I would say, for the last couple of years. Framber Valdez is not going to be easy. I understand that, but I think the Nationals are starting at least a little bit to get a little more offense going. I mean, last 5 games, they put up a 7 spot, put up 4, put up 8, 3 of the last 5 games. I mean, they're starting to swing it a little bit. Juan Soto's starting to get going. This Kelbert Ruiz has been hitting well lately for them. No, I've been impressed with the Nationals here. Yadiel Hernandez. I mean, they've got some bats, and they're starting to come out of this early season funk at the plate. Washington, and that's been good to see. Josiah Gray, the problem with Gray is, he's pitched all right, and he's got good stuff, and there's a reason why the Nationals kind of wanted him in the Scherzer deal, no question. But at the same point in time, the Astros are crushing righties. Who aren't they crushing right now? But they're crushing righties. They match up well in terms of what Dusty Baker can do with his lineup, in terms of stacking it against a guy like Josiah Gray. I think that's concerning. The Nationals' bullpen still isn't that great. So I think the Astros can probably end up scoring some runs here in this game as well. And when you look at obviously what they've done offensively, it's been impressive. And the one thing about Josiah Gray, even in some games where he's pitched well, we've still seen some overs in some of these games with him. This has been a very interesting fact. And you also look at Gray at home this year, 5.4 ERA, a little bit of a reverse home road dichotomy. He's actually pitched well on the road. He's not pitched great here in his own Nationals ballpark here in D.C. So total's reasonable. It's 8. Weather's starting to warm up now as well in the Northeast. I mean, it's going to be a pretty mild night for baseball here in Washington. So I'm looking at this game over 8. I think 8's reasonable here in this matchup.
I think I'm going to join you there, Boban. I'll make that official for myself as well. Over 8 minus 115 for me, Bobano. You got that as well, minus 115?
Well, minus 115. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Beautiful. So we will both ride there. I like that look. I think the last, like I said, I've had a couple losing days back to back here. We break it yesterday, and it's just been like nothing's been making sense. Like you look at like traditionally like 2 pitchers that shove. Where they're facing the 2 worst offenses in the league. Oh, you think under? Well, psych, you're going to get an over that game. Stuff like that is happening. So I'm glad that I might be initially leaning first for the under here. Bobano talks me into the over, and that makes me feel a lot better about it, honestly. So let's keep it moving here, brisk pace, especially so we don't have any malfunctions on any of my computers dying over here. So we'll keep it exciting here. Next game, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Gausman, Drew Rasmussen, whatever we're calling him nowadays. And everyone knows I'm a huge Drew guy. Drew guy. It's a hard word to say for me, apparently. But I think I would also lean under here as well. Just first instance, looking at these pitchers, they're both fantastic, but you've obviously got a 6.5, and right now on Bovada, way juiced to the over. 6.5 is at -130 here, so the book's thinking otherwise here. We really don't have to talk about Kevin Gausman too much for his season because we all know he has been absolutely disgusting this year. 6 1/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. And he finally gave up his first walk of the season last time versus the Guardians. It was a 4-pitch walk, 4-pitch, 4 balls. So was not like a big bad call, but finally walks a guy, dominant everyone else. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks versus the Astros, and dominates the Red Sox. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 unearned run, 9 Ks. So I kind of lean towards the Rays as well for the side purposes as well. The Blue Jays have been hitting kind of a rocky spot here, and a lot of bettors are kind of happy about it. I know, like I said, Jimmy the Bag is enjoying his Clearwater beaches or his yelling kids all around the world in Orlando and Disney World and all that stuff. So whatever he might be doing, I know for sure he's enjoying the Blue Jays struggling here because he wants them to be a better bet for the futures market. So I think right now I would lean towards the Rays, especially at home too. I think this is the Blue Jays' first trip to the Trop this year. You know how the Trop goes. So lean into the Rays. Bobano, talk me out of it. Talk me into it. Make me feel better about it. Let's see how you go, Bobano.
So I'm not fading Kevin Gausman. No way am I doing that. He's been excellent. He just had his first walk of the season in the last start. That's unbelievable. 1 walk this deep into the season for Kevin Gausman, and it came in his last start. That being said, I'm not in a rush to lay a price with Toronto, the team around him. They're not hitting at the moment. They will, but every team, even the great offenses, the great lineups, like the Blue Jays, will go into one of these funks at some point. They're in one right now. They just can't get a clutch hit. They're not getting that big base hit with runners in scoring position at the moment, and that's an issue. That's not going to be something that continues indefinitely, but I'm going to pump the brakes on back in the Jays until I see an offensive turnaround. I think the best way to go about this game is the first 5 under. You know, I do think you'll probably see a low-scoring start. I do like Drew Rasmussen here for the Tampa Bay Rays. Gotten off to a nice start for them. 1.13 ERA, 1.8 at the Trop this year. Every bit as good. Actually, it's funny. Rasmussen, 1.8 ERA and 2 home starts. Gausman, 1.8 ERA and 3 road starts. So identical ERAs for these two teams in terms of Rasmussen at home, Gausman on the road. Should be a low-scoring start. No official plays for me, but I do lean first 5 under.
J Logistics here is saying no run in the first inning. That makes a whole lot of sense.
I've got a nerfy candidate. Yes.
Yeah, I've got it at -160, but that makes a whole lot of sense. Shout out to my guy Razor Sharp Picks in the chat. What's up, Ian Jose? Nice 2-0 day plus 600 yesterday as we cashed our top 400 NBA play with the Dallas first quarter. Shout out to you, Bobano. You guys doing an NBA show today, correct?
Yep, Pub Hub as always. Yep, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific.
Beautiful. I cannot wait. Shout out to T-Sin here. Dutch Boy Fresh coming off a winning day with Betting with Bouquet. Cannot wait for that show later today. We will talk about the association later on this show with It's Daryl, but go get your full breakdown of NBA action later with the NBA Pub Hub. All right, let's talk about the next game on our docket here. New York Mets versus the Seattle Mariners here. Marco Gonzalez versus Max Scherzer here, and I believe this is at the Mets. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I will double check just to make sure and see if it's just the graphics are wrong. Yeah, it's at the Mets, so it's at the Mets here, not at Seattle. Max Scherzer, rightfully so, a minus 220 favorite. I mean, that's not surprising at all. Marco Gonzalez has been, serviceable good this year. If you bet his starts, I'm sure you got some value out of them. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, a K, and 2 home runs allowed, 4 walks allowed, to a timeout, 2 versus the Rays. So not what you want there. And at Houston, he's got 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs off of 2 more home runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and then had a short 1 1/3 inning outing versus the Rays that we don't even mention. We just skip over like it didn't even happen. Max Scherzer last time out, he back-to-backed against the Phillies, and he got touched both times out. And it was a little weird to see Max giving up home runs and hits in bunches. 10 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 7 Ks, no walks. First for this last time out, I should say, and his first time against the Phillies, 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs off 3 home runs, 9 Ks, and a walk. So nothing for me here. Maybe another lean towards an under here, but I don't know what to do here yet, Bobano. I'm feeling a little trepidatious, I guess, today. I'm having a first winning day in a while, but I would lean towards an under 7 here at even money right now. But I would love to hear what you're on, Bobano. I think you're muted over there.
Yeah, I'm not a Marco Gonzalez fan all that much, to be quite honest. He's someone usually I'm looking to fade, but at the same point in time, you do have to acknowledge that against lefties, it's been less than inspiring lately from the New York Mets, and that's putting it mildly. I mean, the last 10 games, I've got them clocked in at 136 batting average, 1.8 runs per game against lefties. That's not very good. But at the same time, I think this is a hittable lefty. I want no part of Gonzalez. I just don't think he's all that consistent right now. He's got, overall the last 4.63 ERA. And the Mets, to me, are certainly the much better team. I am interested a little in the Mets' first 5, but when you look at the price you got to lay with that here, you're talking minus 160. That's not the value I'm looking for. And they really aren't hitting lefties well enough right now in terms of current form to want to lay minus 160 with the New York Mets on a minus half in the first 5 innings. So that's the lean, but nothing other than that.
Yeah, I feel you there, Bobano. Officer 50 Losh Aya asking for the under 3.5 3 Ks. I do like that, actually. I do like that. I think he does get touched, and he got a strikeout last time and 2 versus the Astros. So I think that will be a good look for you there. Just depends on the juice, obviously, but like that. Next game on the docket, Baltimore Orioles versus the Detroit Tigers here. Eduardo Rodriguez versus Jordan Lyles here. Bobano, and I think I want to move on the over 8 here for sure. I was looking at this game in particular. I think this was my favorite look so far, perhaps. Jordan Lyles, not the best, 7 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 5 Ks, 1 walk versus the Kansas City Royals. Versus the Red Sox, 6 innings of 7 hit, 1 earned run ball, 6 Ks, 3 walks. At the Mets, 4 2/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs off 3 home runs, 3 Ks, and a walk. Eduardo Rodriguez dazzled last time out, to say the least. I faded him that time out against the Astros. He went 6 2/3, 1 hit, 1 home run allowed there, 8 Ks, 3 walks. Just phenomenal. So what can you say about it? And I challenge him to do it again. He's been one of the guys I've been fading this year to, kind of mixed results. At the Dodgers, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 5 Ks, no walks. And at Minnesota, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks. So I think he'll give you up some. I think the Tigers bullpen is atrocious, and I like the Orioles hitting right now. They're doing well. Right now, the Tigers are 5th, 127 weighted runs created plus against righties. And right now, let me look at the Orioles real quick against lefties. These last 2 weeks, they are 22nd, 83 weighted runs created plus, 188 at bat. So a little lower than you would think, but I do think the Orioles have been swinging a hot bat against righties, and I think that will transition. So I think I will take the full game over 8 here, Bobana. What about you?
Well, I like it as well, but I want to mention that you can get 7.5 now, minus 115.
I'm getting a 7.5 minus 120. So that's interesting. The line drops there. A little concerned, but I would like to hear. I am going to move on that still.
Well, again, Detroit is going to be one of those places that's impacted by the warm up that's going on in the Northeast. Like we're talking, I would say I'm trying to think the conversion. 82 Fahrenheit probably at first pitch at Comerica Park tonight for this game. Sunny skies. It's going to be warm. It's going to be warm for May 13th at 7 p.m. That's for sure, and that's obviously good news for runs, and that's good news for overs. I'm with you on Jordan Lyles. I mean, Jordan Lyles has had a couple of solid starts this year. Don't get me wrong, but do we expect that to continue? No. I mean, he actually had a little streak there early in the year where he shut out or one run allowed to the Yankees and he shut out Oakland. But then he got crushed by the Yankees. He did pitch well against Boston. But Boston was kind of going through an offensive funk at that time. And then last start, he got roughed up a little by the Royals and could have been much worse than 4 runs on 7 hits. That guy was in trouble multiple innings in his last start. And on the flip side, look, Eduardo Rodriguez, great start last time against a very good Houston team, but actually here at Comerica Park, he hasn't fared too well, and it's been pretty surprising. He's given up 13 runs in just 13 plus innings, just a little over 13 innings. Yeah, 13.2 innings. He's given up 13 runs here at Comerica Park at home. That's why his ERA in this ballpark is where it is, 5.27 ERA for Eduardo Erod at home coming into this start. By the way, his home starts, all 3 of them went over the total. So there you go. Yeah, there's nothing really more to add. Detroit, their offense can be sketchy, but I think they can hit Lyles in a bullpen that's kind of suspect. And on the flip side, you mentioned Baltimore's lineup. They have been hitting, and I've actually cashed a couple overs lately with the Orioles. The St. Louis game, I remember, although it was all St. Louis doing the damage. But, they have started to hit. You look at some of these Baltimore games, 9-5, 4-4, 6-5 in 6 of their last 8 games. They have started to swing the bats a little bit, which that's supposed to be their strength coming into the year. We didn't think anything of the Baltimore pitching, but we did expect them to be able to swing the bat a little bit. So I expect to see that here. I would look toward over. Quite honestly, I'd lean to the Orioles from a side perspective, but I'm not doing that with Lyles. But the team form for Baltimore is definitely better than Detroit right now. So I lean Orioles, but I'm not backing Lyles. I'm just going to go over 7.5.
Yeah, I'm on that over 7.5. I like the over. A lot of people saying Detroit not hitting. They're going to struggle to hit, and the Orioles will struggle to hit that lefty. We'll see. I think it'll be an interesting matchup for sure. I mean, like I said, I challenged Eduardo Rodriguez to pitch well again. You mentioned all of his home starts, which I liked, trending towards the over. And I think there is, of course, a difference between hitting righties and lefties. I think that's the most obvious statement in the world. But I think when you're hot on one side, I think that will transition. You're taking good pitches. That translates over. And hopefully that success comes today. A lot of Orioles love, too, as well. So shout out to the Birds there. Next game on the docket here, we've got San Diego Padres versus the Atlanta Braves here. Max Fried and Yu Darvish. Another great pitching matchup. A lot of really good pitching matchups today, and I would say my 2 favorite lefties are on the bump. Framber Valdez and Max Fried is my second one here. Yu Darvish has been phenomenal this year. Shout out to Dabby Cab, who I'm sure is watching in the chat right now. And I'm sure he's actually taking Yu Darvish again here. Plus money, you can tell him to take it, and he'll take it twice on Sunday. Fried last time out versus the Milwaukee Brewers. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run off a home run, 8 Ks, 1 walk. At the Mets, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned run, a home run, 6 Ks, no walks. And versus the Chicago Cubs at home, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run off a home run, 4 Ks, no walks. So he's figured out his shit from the earlier on portion of the season. Shout out to him. Yu Darvish. I don't know what to do about Yu Darvish, but man, I've been so up and down with Yu Darvish. He keeps dominating, and I'm not on him. And whenever I want to back him, I'm just worried that he's going to blow up. And to make matters worse, if I think about backing him today, I'd be going against Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play the day on Atlanta here. So a lot of conflicting factors. Maybe you take an under here, but both these offenses are pretty good. I would say that against righties, the Braves, they've got the names obviously to hit, but against righties, they're 91 weighted runs created plus, 21st in the league there. And the San Diego Padres against lefties are 14th, 101 weighted runs created plus. So A lot of conflicting factors. I think I'm leaning towards the under here as well. I don't know if I'm going to move on it though. Bobano, what about you?
Yeah, this one's. I like the way Fried's pitching right now. I'm not going against Max Fried. He's turned it around. He had a couple of bad starts early in the year. He's pitching well. I know the moment I back you, Darvish, he's going to implode because
Yep.
I'm still not firmly believing this is going to sustain itself for the long term with you, Darvish. I still think there's a rough patch coming for you, Darvish. Although, to his credit, no, he has been very good. The last three starts, 3-0 the Padres in his last three starts, 2.37 ERA. He's given up a grand total of just 6 runs in his last 4 starts. So that's 6 runs over a span of 25 innings. That's pretty impressive. I just don't. I just don't trust him still fully. He's pitching well right now, and if you've been backing him, I say nothing wrong with riding the train again. But I know the moment I probably back you, Darvish, that's probably the night he's going to get crushed. Fried's been great. He's given up just 4 runs in his last 4 starts, 4 runs over his last 26 innings. So I'm not betting the game, but I do lean first 5 under potentially. That's probably the way I would consider it here in this one. And to be honest with you, I'd take Atlanta before San Diego. And I'd take Fried before Darvish here. But you're talking minus 150. With Atlanta, you're laying a big price. And look, San Diego's played good baseball for the most part. They've got a good record. They've played pretty well as of late for the most part. Not necessarily looking to go against that. Keep in mind, though, coming off that loss at the end of that homestand against the Cubs, day off, though, before this trip to Atlanta. So that should help the Padres. Again, when you're talking about the West Coast team flying east, there's a big difference between no day off and getting that day off before the series starts. So that's significant and it'll at least help the Padres' cause in this game tonight.
Yeah, I think I would also lean towards the under for that. Similar reasoning, just because they come off, the bullpen's rested, everyone's ready to go. The Padres bullpen is atrocious when they aren't using their number one guys. So I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I think it's a better game to watch and a very, very tough game to bet. So nothing for me for right now. Leaning towards the under 7 might make that official, but we shall see later. All right, next game, the Boston Red Sox versus the Texas Rangers. And, Bobano, as many people know, going to the game on Sunday, going to do say hey plays in the morning with @DabbyCab, of course. Going to do that. It's going to be a fun time. Going to be right beside each other live, and we'll be at the game. So come by if you guys want to see us there as well. And I'm going to look up and see officially who the pitcher is for Sunday. I thought initially it was Michael Wacha. He is on the IL now. And we will see right now if they have anyone announced. Oh, and it is my old friend, Martin Perez, against the best pitcher in the world, Garrett Whitlock. So that is going to be a fun day. I'm excited about that. But right now, we're talking about Nick Pivetta versus Dane Dunning. Another good pitching matchup. Right now, we've got the Red Sox at even money on the road versus these Rangers. The Rangers are being favored here. Kind of makes me sick, to be honest. You would think, and they've skyrocketed too. It's at minus 130 now, at plus 108 for the Red Sox. So money coming in on those Rangers. Not many people betting on the Red Sox and fading Nick Pivetta here versus the Chicago White Sox. Last time out, Pivetta had a great start at home too, which was the real shocking part about it all too. 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned run, 8 Ks, no walks for him. For at the Baltimore Orioles, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks there. And versus the Toronto Blue Jays at the Air Canada Center, or the Rogers Center, I should say, actually. 4 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 4 walks. So keeping the walks down, what I like to see from Nicky Pivetta. What do you have on this one, Boben? Are you on the Texas Rangers money train right now?
Yeah, it's been impressive actually. That I don't want to go too crazy with saying how impressive it's been for Texas. They're still a below 500 team, but 7-3 in their last 10 games. They do deserve credit for that and the way they've played. They swung the bats a little bit better. They've actually pitched well. Hard to believe. Texas during this recent stretch going into this game. As far as this one goes, though, when I look at this matchup overall. Nick Pivetta, I always want him to do well. He's a fellow Canadian like me. We always root for him, but it's 6.08. You are what your ERA says you are when you're an MLB pitcher, and 6.08 ERA is just not very good for him. He struggled so far this year, 13 walks in 26 innings. That's not good either for Pivetta. Control and command's been problematic at times. Now, the last start in particular, do we buy into that as a turnaround? Is that a buy sign for Pivetta? No walks, 8 strikeouts, 5 hit shutout ball, 6 innings against the White Sox. About as good as he's pitched all year. Can he keep that going here tonight in Texas? That ends up being the big question. So I'm going to stay off here, quite honestly, this game overall. Dane Dunning, I mean, I'll give him credit. He's actually done a decent job this year. But when I look at it here, Boston, disappointing loss against Atlanta with Eovaldi on the mound. They just couldn't find a way, unfortunately, to pull that out. But we'll have to wait and see. With Pivetta struggling and finally having that good start, I'm just gonna watch this game, sit back, see how he does. If he pitches well again, then we might be looking at a chance to maybe buy in on him the next start. But I need to make sure that was not an anomaly, that was not just a one-off with the White Sox performance from him the last time. So we'll wait and see, but it's a pass for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would want to wait if I was you. Nick Pivetta is kind of, I don't know, not trustworthy. I would rather bet him on the road, so that would make me feel a little better about that. And a lot of people in the chat are on those Red Sox right now. So let me see. And by the way, I think Jimmy Gomez was the one who asked me for a home away splits for the Red Sox. 7-11 this year on the road, 4-9 at home. So
they do have the better bullpen numbers. Texas, believe it. Yes, they do. 3.66 compared to Boston. Boston 4.14 with the bullpen.
I wish I could tell you that's a surprise, Bobano, but as watching this Red Sox team every day, they blow leads so much. It hurts.
Ryan Brazier the other night. I mean, 11-20 is an absolute and Alex Cora is at his wit's end. He got tossed the other night. That was a bad strike call against Atlanta, and that was a huge moment in the game as well. It was a terrible, terrible call. He's frustrated. The team's underperforming. You get bad calls from the home plate umpire going against you. He just snapped. It's just building and building. The losses, the struggles, the disappointing start, and then you have a horseshit call, go against you there. It just built up, and he just exploded. The frustration just exploded there in that moment for him.
By the way, Julian Cesario saying he likes the over in this game too. So shout out to that. And it was Joseph Gomez, not Jimmy Gomez. So apologize there. Shout out to Nasty Nate for keeping me in order.
Yep.
All right, so let's move it on because this game is kind of a stinker. And let's talk about the hottest team in baseball, the New York Yankees. Whatever. Garrett Cole, 2-0 this year. Vince Velasquez on the other side. And I need to actually, because Bobano, here's no more inside baseball. We've got 5% left on the laptop. So we're switching it up here. We're going iPad for the StreamYard. We're doing everything all mobile. We're an amoeba. That's what we call ourselves, an amoeba.
Go with mobile, like the Who said, yeah, mobile.
Yeah, I know who the Who is. Yeah. I've heard of them. Garrett Cole obviously has been phenomenal this year. I don't think we need to talk much about him. Vince Velasquez dominated the Red Sox last time out, and I was on the first 5 under that game, thankfully. I felt like a smart man watching him dominate. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 2 walks. But he's not going to do it again. He is not going to do that again. I think I want to take the Yankees in some form or fashion here, Bobano. Whether that be team total, maybe a first 5 minus half, so minus 130, so that's pretty juicy and pretty lame there. 4.5, the team total is at minus 110. I think that's a good number there for a crap Vince Velasquez and a White Sox bullpen that has not been very good either, just kind of living on reputation. So I want to move on the Yankees here, which feels weird to say, Bobano. What about you?
This is a game where I'm looking at it right now. Obviously, the Yankees have been phenomenal. Garrett Cole 4-0 in his last 4 starts, and he's given up 3 runs in almost 20 innings during that time. So he's been great. Obviously the concerns about whether the spider tack and the sticky stuff and he's been exposed after that. Well, it's dying down now because he's pitching very well for the Yankees. And we know the Yankees, during this incredible streak that they've been on, they've been crushing the ball again in many of these games, especially the last three. 6, 5, 15 in the last 3 games for the Yankee lineup. So this is actually a game where I'm going to do a double up here, Jose, because I don't trust Vincent Velasquez. I mean, this guy is going to blow up at some point. He's kind of skirted around it so far, pitched a little bit better than a lot of people thought. He's had 3 actually pretty good starts. 1 run to Seattle, shut out the Angels, 1 run to Boston, but he did get smacked by the Rays and the Twins. And this is probably going to be the best lineup he's faced this year, let's be honest. So I don't expect a whole lot from Vince Velasquez. He's still more of a bet against pitcher for me moving forward. So I'm going to go with the Yankees -0.5, -125 in the first 5 innings. I'm also going to go full game run line with the Yankees here. Double up run line. So this is like a first 5 full game run line split for me in this game. And I'm going to go Yankees run line here as well, which you can get -1.5 at, let me see it, around even money. Yeah, +100 at Caesars. -1.5, +100 at Caesars for the full game run line. And I'm also going to go over 7.5 in this game with the full game total because I don't trust the White Sox bullpen. It's terrible right now. And even if Cole goes out there and neutralizes the White Sox, the Yankees, I think, are going to do damage against Velasquez, and they can open it up late against that White Sox bullpen right now. So this is a game with 3 bets for me in this one game. Yankees first 5 run line -0.5, -125. Yankees full game run line -1.5, +100, and over 7.5, -115.
Beautiful. Bobano, a triple up spot there. And right where I'm thinking. So that makes me feel better about myself there. Next game is the Taint Play of the Day. Finally we get here. It's been taking forever, but we're here. Cleveland Guardians, team total over 3.5 at even money. And I'm going to move on this as well. Wind blowing out in Cleveland. Cleveland smashes righties. Love this spot for them. Also lean towards a total going over. So shout out to our guy, Matty Ice, and the shout out to Taint as always. Over 3.5 at plus money here for the Cleveland Guardian. And boy, oh boy, this pitching matchup is something. I don't know what to make of it, Bobano, but it's something. Savali versus Gray here. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs for Savali versus the Blue Jays, I should say. Excuse me. 8 Ks, no walks. A pretty good start for him, but the last 2 before that, 6 earned runs at Oakland, 7 hits, 6 earned runs at New York's, 3 innings pitched, 7 hits. So not great. Sonny Gray on the other side. I don't know what to make about Sonny Gray. And I'd love for your opinion here, Bobano, but he came out of his second start of the year, hamstring, I believe it was against the Red Sox too. Comes back dominant against his former squad, Oakland. 4 innings, 2 hit ball, no earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Is that Sonny Gray what we're going to get now? Or is that Sonny Gray just being amped against playing one against the former squad? I mean, I think it's been a while since he's been there, so I don't know. But obviously we've got Taint on the over 3.5 team total for the Guardians. I'm going to move on that right now as well. Bobana, what are you moving on?
Yeah, if you like Cleveland, and obviously Matty Ice with the Taint Play of the Day likes their team total to hit Gray and the Twins, take the team total. You don't want anything to do with the money line or anything like that with Cleveland because I don't know how you can trust Aaron Savale. This guy's been awful this year. He's actually been one of the absolute worst starters in Major League Baseball so far this season. 9.45 ERA. He's been lit up every single start. 4 runs in 3 innings against KC, 4 runs against the Giants in 4 innings, 6 runs in 3 innings against the Yankees, 6 runs in 4 innings against Oakland, 4 runs, 6 hits against the Blue Jays last time out. The home run ball has been an issue. 4 home runs allowed by Savale in the last 4 starts. Been dreadful, absolutely dreadful. So I definitely think Minnesota is going to hit him hard, be able to score a bunch of runs. But I think Cleveland can score as well. They are good against righties. Sonny Gray does have a 3.48 ERA overall, but there's some alarming peripherals with him. His FIP, his xFIP, they're almost at 5. So you know what that tells you? He's gotten a little bit fortunate. He's gotten a little bit lucky so far. Sonny Gray. Sonny, yesterday my life was filled with rain. Sonny Gray, I think his life's going to be filled with a little more rain tonight because I think he's going to have some struggles here against this Cleveland lineup. So I like the over here. It was actually one of the standout plays for me today was this total. Cleveland, Minnesota, over 8, -115.
Beautiful. Cleveland, Minnesota, over 8 at -115. I've got it at -120 right now, but I don't think I'm going to add that. I've got 4 plays right now.
It's one of those classic games, Jose, where everything adds up to the over. Everything. You look, you handicap, you do your work on this game, and there's nothing that points to anything but over. And yet sometimes I've been in this spot before. I absolutely love there to be a ton of runs, high-scoring slugfest, love the over, and next thing you know, 3-1 final score. Hopefully that's not tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you, Boban. I agree with you. I honestly wanted to do the ski ladder, pull that out for the Cleveland Guardians team total overs, but I think I'm going to stay a little more conservative. Right now in Bovada, I've got the 3.5 at -115, and that's what I moved on. And the 4 right now is at +120. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to be a coward. My mantra of this season was make the bets you want to make and don't be a bitch. And I'm not going to be. So I'm taking Cleveland team total over 3.5 and over 4. And I got that over 4 at +120. Beautiful. Let's keep it moving here as my computer clings to life.
Another thing to point out about Gray too. Look at the starts for him this year for Minnesota since he joined the rotation because he wasn't ready at the beginning of the year. But you look at who he's faced here since he's joined the rotation. Seattle, Oakland. I mean, these are some weaker lineups, and he's going to be tested tonight too. Keep that in mind.
By the way, Billy Friedrich in here saying Savalia's last 3 road starts, 10 1/3, 14 earned run. Red Girl riding with Matting Ice. A lot of people going there. Robert Franklin saying Savali, Gascan, Ronnie and Bergia, fading Sonny Gray, I'm in. Nathan Cerna saying taking a stab with the Guardians. Savali, look at that. Nasty Nate saying Yankees first 3, took the first 3 over 3. So like that as well. So let's keep it moving. 2% on the laptop, but we're ready to go. We've got many adjustments. We've got moves and shakes to do. Royals versus the Rockies here. Greinke versus Kyle Freeland. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, I had my 2 favorite lefties on the mound. I think Kyle Freeland's one of my least favorite lefties on the mound. At Arizona. 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Great start. At the Reds, at home for the Reds, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, 4 Ks, 1 walk. And at the Phillies, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, only one of them earned, 7 Ks, and 1 walk for Freeland. Zach Greinke. He's been kind of just doing exactly what we thought Zach Greinke would do. He was going to pitch into his 50s, throw 80, get people just hit balls in the ground, strike a couple guys out. 5 innings, 1 earned run ball. At Baltimore last time out, 5 2/3, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, no walks. Versus the Cardinals at the Cardinals, and these are all road starts. So this is his 4th consecutive road start for him. At the Cardinals, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 K, no walks. And the White Sox, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, no walks for him. So I think initially, shocking as this to say in Coors, I would lean towards the under. And as I look up, I see Red Girl said Rockies first five under 5.5, and I don't hate that at all. I think that the altitude in Coors is not going to affect Zach Greinke that much because obviously he's been around the block a couple times. He's pitched in LA. He's been there a bunch of times, and he's not a high spin rate guy, so it's not going to, do anything on that end. So I think I'm leaning towards the under here, Bobano, but I'm obviously scared to do that in the Coors, even if it's 10. I want to stay off this one. Bobano?
He's actually only got a 4.01 ERA, Zach Greinke, lifetime in his career at Coors Field. So that's not terrible compared to what some other pitchers would have in that kind of situation. But you look at this game here, they actually are a little bit better against lefties the last 10 games, the Royals, but I don't know if I trust them here against Freeland. Now, Freeland, his home ERA looks bad overall, and we didn't necessarily expect that because this is a guy that's pitched pretty well at Coors Field in the past. But those were two rough starts at the very beginning of the year, and you have to factor in that not every starting pitcher was in their rhythm and was comfortable, with the shortened spring training this year. Since then, those last two home starts have been very good. Kyle Freeland. So he's been a lot better the last two home starts. 2 runs allowed against Philly in 5 innings, 1 run in 7 innings against Cincinnati in his last home start. Completely shut down the Reds there. And this is a guy usually I want to back, especially at home, Kyle Freeland. But Greinke on the other side, we'll see what we get out of him going into this game. To me, he certainly has the stuff where it's not necessarily going to be impacted negatively there. And he does have a 2.67 ERA. He's definitely pitched better than I thought he would so far this year. But when I look at it here coming into this game, the Rockies have been so good at home. Once again, 11-5, their home record this year. Kansas City's been terrible, especially on the road, 4-9. I like Colorado here in this one. The price isn't great, but going to go with them here at -140 first 5 and -134 full game as well. So first 5 full game money line split.
Beautiful. And who was that on? Sorry, my computer just died, so now we're officially in the audible and adjust segment of the show. But who are you on again there, Bobano? I apologize.
Colorado -140 first 5, Colorado -134 full game.
Beautiful. I will get that down later because, like we said, we are adjusting and moving on the go here. So next game, let's talk about this game. Oakland A's versus the LA Angels. And we got Chase
Silseth.
Who?
Chase Silseth.
Silseth.
Yep.
Silseth. That's a good name. Interesting pitcher. I will say that mainly because our guy Chase is the 2021 draft class. Let me double check and make sure if that's correct because he is young. He has little experience.
He's coming from Double-A for this start.
Yeah, he's got 31 total professional innings. 31. That is shocking. You would not see that in yesterday's baseball. A 11th round pick, and he went 2-0, 1.73 ERA, a 2.68 FIP, I should say. 37 Ks, 7 walks. So Silseth obviously looks like he is a dealer. And if he's being brought up this quickly, they see something. And I'm going to be watching this game intently because it's either that or they are bringing him up super early and they're desperate for pitching and they're starting to try to cash in on all those pitchers they've drafted the last couple of years. And obviously we all knew this last couple of years that the pitchers were the issue for the Angels, and maybe they're trying to do this. But I'm excited to watch this start. I think I would honestly lean towards the +122 for the Angels, just better hitting squad, just general, and maybe you want to take a roll of the dice with this Angels bullpen and Silseth. But I think I'm leaning towards the Angels here, like I said. So what about you, Bobana?
Yeah, this is probably a watch and learn type of game for me. I mean, especially, when you got a guy coming straight out of Double-A, and this is a guy that was an 11th round pick, by the way. It's not like this guy was right up at the top of the food chain when the Angels drafted him. So this is really more than anything a move that's been done out of necessity, because of the state of the rotation at the moment for the Angels. So this is not something where, wow, this guy's getting called up. He's this top line prospect. Let's back him in his first start. No, not the case. Not like the same guy that pitched for the Dodgers a couple days ago against Pittsburgh, one of their top prospects there.
Or George Kirby, yeah.
Yeah, or to Kirby, exactly. This ain't that for the Angels here with Silseth. But at the same point in time, on the other side, you've got Dalton Jeffries on the mound here for the A's, and he's not been very good. 5.22 ERA. You look at his last 3 starts, he's given up 15 runs in his last 14 innings. That's definitely not very good. So I think over I'd lean. That's 7.5, a modest total. I know Oakland's definitely not offense we trust night in, night out. And look, Silseth mowed him down in Double-A, 1.37 ERA, but he's basically jumping up 2 levels for this game tonight. That's a big difference. And I know Oakland's not one of the best lineups in Major League Baseball. That's putting it mildly, but it's still going to be a tougher challenge for Silseth. So it's a watch and learn with just a small lean to the over here for me.
No, I agree with you. And by the way, our lines are flipped, and it's minus 145 for the Angels, plus 122 for the A's. As you guys can see, I'm scrambling here with all my technology, so did not know, and I apologize. But that would make a whole lot of sense, because I don't know why the Oakland A's would be favored by 150 against anyone. So I'm going to stay off this game. I like the over as well. I mean, I think you made a good point for it. And I would honestly look towards some Angels team totals as well. If you don't feel comfortable backing them, to win the game, take them that way, like that. By the way, shout out to our guy Kenny Rogers, at Jose, at Bobano. Cheers, props to the nice fit, Jose. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks. I appreciate it. This is my casual Friday look. Jersey and the blazer today. Appreciate it. Angels, by the way, Billy Friedrich, Angels team total over 4.5 plus 115. Like that right there. That's not bad. It's not bad, Billy Friedrich. I like that look. I might move on that later. So let's keep it rolling here. We've got a couple games left with Bobano. We've kept him here long enough. We've got 2 more games, I should say. 3 more games. 3 more games. I am missing a graphic for one of them, but it's okay. It's because this is what we do here. The next game is the Chicago Cubs versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. We got Zach Davies versus Drew Smyly here, and it seems like Drew Smyly's, I don't know, his charm, his lefty finesse is just kind of fading. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned versus the Dodgers, 4 Ks, 2 walks. At the Braves, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs off 2 home runs, 4 Ks, and a walk. And the Pirates at home dominant. Well, not really dominant, I should say. Expect them to be dominant. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 home runs, 4 Ks, and a walk. Zach Davies, on the other side, you could tell me Zach Davies and Drew Smyly is like the same person. I'd believe you. Like I would never be able to pick either one of these dudes out of a lineup. They're essentially the same person in my head. One throws righty, one throws lefty. That's the only difference. Davies versus the Rockies at home, 6 1/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, none of them earned at the Cardinals, and versus the Dodgers at home, 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, 4 walks for Davies. The Diamondbacks can pitch, obviously. Brent Strom decided to take a retirement job in Arizona, and, I guess that's just his form of retirement, just teaching young pitchers how to pitch better, but respect to him. I've got nothing on this one here for Bobano. What about you here?
Yeah, this is 2 guys that I'd rather fade. Let's put it that way, Smyly and Davies. I'll be honest, both of them have pitched a little better than I thought. Davies in particular. I mean, 3.34 ERA his last 3 starts. He's been good. He's given up 5 runs in his last 15 innings. He struggled a little bit against the Dodgers, but neutralized the Cardinals pretty well, and then shut out the Colorado Rockies in his last start. So, I will give Davies a little bit of credit in terms of pitching a bit, certainly better than I thought he would coming into the year, no question. But I don't think this is necessarily something that is going to be sustainable indefinitely long term. On the other side, you've got Smyly for the Cubs, who's actually kind of reverted back down a little bit after a good start. He had a really good start, actually. He had a couple of shutouts back-to-back against the Pirates and the Rockies. Last few starts, though, have been a little bit worse for him. 4 runs allowed in 5 innings to the Pirates. Labored through 4.2 innings. Walks, home runs were an issue against Atlanta in the 5-1 loss. And then he gave up 3 runs, 6 hits, 4.1 innings. Again, he labored. Pitch count got up in that last start against the Dodgers for him. Not necessarily. And look, Arizona's hitting lefties lately really nicely. Last 10 games, their batting average way up against lefties. Runs per game scored way up lately against lefties. So this is an over target for me, and I'm going to snag the 1 over 8.5 that's still out there at Bet Online minus 125. We're going to go with Cubs D-backs over 8.5. I believe the roof might be open, by the way, tonight at Chase Field. Often it is April and early May. And if that's the case, obviously, the ball's going to be flying even more in that ballpark. So I'm looking at over 8.5 here. Minus 125, Cubs, Diamondbacks.
Okay, over 8.5 there for Bobano. Don't hate the look. Obviously, I mean, these pitchers are, like you said, I think they're just kind of wearing off. Drew Smiley, for sure, is kind of, his charm is going off. Shout out to Kyle Hanlon, who joined us in the day. He's joining us today, I should say. 3-0 day for Kyle with those big boy bets. Shout out to you, my guy. Razor said, I want to bet the Cubs, but it's hard to pull the trigger there. Weird line for Billy Friedrich. Full game.
I took the Cubs actually, not yesterday, but was it yesterday or was it 2 days ago? When did they wrap up with the Padres? I think it was 2 days ago. Yeah, May 11, 7-5 that game. I just couldn't believe that Nick Martinez for the Padres was minus 160 in that game. That was just a little too much juice for my blood on a guy that I think's meandering as a starting pitcher. And obviously they've gotten a nice start to the year, at least to this point, out of Keegan Thompson, the Chicago Cubs, who pitched pretty well in that start. So I thought they were a live dog in that game, and they cashed for me, the Cubs. So I would lean Cubs here as well a little bit. They're playing okay. They've had a nice little road trip so far. But Arizona, they've picked it up big time too, Jose, after that slow start. So that's why, for me, I'm just going to stick to the total.
I cannot dissuade you from that. I think these Diamondbacks are at least very interesting, and I'm going to keep watching them with my eyes peeled and see who I can and can't bet on the squad. Next game, I think one of the better games of the nights. It's a night full of great games, but Logan Webb versus Jordan Hicks here. We've got, I don't know, this is like a pitching matchup made out of like MLB The Show. Last year, I would never expect Jordan Hicks to be a starter, Logan Webb to be as great as he is, and now here we are. We've got minus 125, plus 105 for the St. Louis Cardinals here. And I think one of the more surprising things here, and I'm going to double check on Bovada right now, the 7.5. I would expect that this is like a 6.5 written all over it, Bobano. Honestly, I would expect that to be like an under game, but Logan Webb does struggle at home. Jordan Hicks has been okay, I guess, as a starter. He keeps giving up 2 earned runs every time. At the Giants, 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Versus the Arizona Diamondbacks, 3 1/3, 2 earned runs off 2 home runs.
What is the second? This game's in St. Louis, isn't it? It's in St. Louis.
Yes. Yes,
this is St. Louis.
Yeah. Yes. Did I say that Logan Webb?
We did this out of time order. I'm surprised we didn't do this earlier.
I also wanted to do this in time order, but again, I'm not doing the graphics today, or I was not doing the graphics, and I'm just following the order of the graphics. This has been, a shaky show for me, Bobano. My insights have been busted up this show, but we're figuring it out slowly but surely, and I expected this game to be earlier on the card too, if we're going to be honest. But yes, this game is in St. Louis. I do think that Logan Webb is a worse pitcher on the road.
Yep.
He just faced these Cardinals at home. 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Does he bounce back here? I mean, I don't know. I think this is a tough call. I think it's not at 7.5, or it's not at 6.5 for a reason. So honestly, I think I would lean over for this game, Bobano. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing more than just lean. I am on the over here. 7.5 minus 110. Giants are trending over. 3 of the last 4 have gone over. I cashed a couple in that Colorado series. Again, taking advantage of when you see a team that's overperforming offensive. And that's what the Giants are doing right now. They're crushing the baseball during this 5-game win streak. 13, 4, 8, 9, 7. They have scored, 41 runs in their last 5 games combined. Look at St. Louis. They've scored in their last 8 games 10, 7, 3, 7, 3, 3, 10. They've had a couple games where they've been shut down, but they've had some big explosive type of games, and they might have one against Webb. I like Webb at home. I don't want Webb on the road. It really is that simple. 5.23 ERA on the road this year for him. That's not great. He just saw St. Louis last weekend in San Francisco, and even in that ballpark where he usually pitches so well, he gave up 4 runs, 8 hits in 5 innings. In that start, Hicks labored with San Francisco when he faced them last weekend in the Bay Area. 2 runs, 3 hits, 4.1 innings. Command and control's been just a little bit of a problem for him. He's given up 8 walks in a little over 12 innings. That's not great. I mean, you just got a lot of question marks with both pitchers. One's got command and control issues, has been inconsistent, and one is a guy that struggled on the road, Logan Webb. And you have 2 lineups that are hitting the ball right now. And trending over, especially San Francisco. So 7.5 to me felt, good value. So over 7.5 for me, Giants Cardinals.
Everyone's saying that I need a shot, but unfortunately I do. I mean, the show isn't a bar, but I'm not going to just go out and just grab a shot. I know you've got things to do, gentlemen. So I'm sorry I cannot take a shot with you guys today.
But minus 110, by the way, with that total.
Well, minus 110, beautiful. Let me write that down because as you guys can tell, like I said, I've been saying, I'm doing everything on one thing now. We're writing down bets. We're switching graphics all on one thing. We got minus 110. And by the way, Bobena, what'd you get for the 8.5 in the Chicago game? What odds?
Minus 125 for that.
Minus 125 for that. It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a fun day, to say the least. Last game on our docket today is going to be these Philadelphia Phillies versus the Dodgers. And as I pull up the graphic here, let's talk about the game last night. I kind of thought that Zach Wheeler was going to struggle since he kept having these layoffs, COVID, didn't pitch against opponents in spring training, yada, yada, yada. He didn't give a fuck about that. Not even one fuck. He dominated, I think, pretty handedly. The bullpen came in. Jose Alvarado blew it. Shout out to my Venezuelan guy there. I also thought it was hilarious watching this broadcast. The Phillies announcers were terrified. It was terrifying. It was like it's 7-4 bases loaded, and they're like, all right, well, they sound like they've already given up the lead and they're about to lose. Like they were just defeated. They saw the story already, and I'm shocked that they came back and won that game. But it shows a lot, I thought, well, this is Joe Girardi's last game as a Phillies manager. He's going to get fired. There's no chance here. And they do it. They come back. They win. I kind of like them today too, Bobano. Kyle Gibson on the Phillies broadcast. I'm fairly certain they were talking about Gibson. I could be wrong, but they were talking about Gibson, and he's going to start today, and he's got a bunch of family coming in. He's going to pitch a bunch of, and I like that angle. I like when a pitcher comes in there and, has a little bit of pressure on him pitching at home. I mean, Kershaw's obviously going to shove, I think, as well. So I want to take the first 5 under here, Bobano. I'm going to look that up while you break us down here, but let me know what you're on while I line shop.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when it comes, that was a wild one last night. I mean, Phillies with the early lead, blow it. Dodgers come back, tie it, and the Phillies come back and get the eventual win of 9-7. Zach Wheeler is just, I've learned to stay off his games when he pitches because some games he's just lights out, dominant, and then some he's absolutely crushed. Wheeler on the mound keeps on pitching. I don't know how he'll pitch tomorrow.
What I love about Bobano's songs is that I never know any of them.
Yeah,
any of them.
Those I always go back in time. That's why. Take the under 1998 or whenever before Jose Bouquett plopped on the earth. But that's another story. This game here, look, I applaud the angle. Kyle Gibson, when you look at it, he's pitched pretty well so far. Solid. The Phillies with a little momentum maybe. In terms of that big win last night, they desperately need to put a win streak together, erase this what's been rather a dreadful start to the year. They're still below 500, so they've got plenty of work to do. But now we're talking about, here's the problem. We're talking about the Dodgers now, a rare 2-game skid, and I don't think they've lost 3 in a row yet this year. I know they haven't. So, they lost the final game of that series against Pittsburgh with Pepe on the mound, their big prospect. And then, of course, they lose 9-7 last night. They're not typically that kind of team where I want to fade them when they're on a little mini 2-game skid like this, because they don't usually let losing streaks linger, this team. And they've got the guy on the mound they want. Clayton Kershaw's been terrific, especially the last 3-4 starts. So, yeah, definitely it's a high number. And, you could it's not a terrible suggestion to look at the Phillies and Gibson, especially with the price you're getting. But it's just the really elite teams in baseball. We know the Dodgers are great, no question about that. When they're on a 2-game losing streak, I'm not in a rush to step in front of them, especially when they've got, arguably one of their best pitchers on the mound. So I'm off the game pass, but Dodgers, it feels like a Dodgers spot to me.
Nutflush Allen asking if we can check out Gibson's career versus the Dodgers. And if you've got a baseball savant, please do. I'll try to look it up on my phone. I took the first 5 under, by the way, minus 105. And I'm assuming that my man Nutflush Allen is showing me this because he gets crushed by these Dodgers. And by the way, we'll say this. Kenny Rogers shooting me messages during the show asking me to find some sort of chain and put that on. And unfortunately, Kenny, I don't own a chain, and I won't be owning one. I don't think they're not my style, unfortunately. But let's look at Mr. Kyle Gibson, and I make a chuckle as I chortle, as I should say. 7 home runs for him, 3 home runs against Mookie Betts, and 49 plate appearances, 327 batting average, a 776 slug, and a 286 expected batting average. So, yeah, it gets to him, or these guys get to him. Mookie 8 for 20, 3 home runs, 3 Ks. Cody Bellinger, 4 for 2. 2 for 4, sorry. 2 home runs. Freddie Freeman, 1 for 5, home run. Chris Taylor, 0 for 4. Max Muncy, 0 for 3. And Will Smith, 3 for 2 with a home run himself. So, long ball going to be an interesting thing for Kyle Gibson today, but I believe in him, and I hope that his family propels him to a good start. And, of course, Clayton Kershaw, do your thing as well. And I will mention, even though they did touch Anderson last night, the Phillies were worst against lefties yesterday, and now they're like 23rd. Still under 100 weighted runs created plus.
Still not good. Yeah.
Still not good, yeah. All right, Bobana. What a day. What a show. Let's get back here. Hold on.
There's one difference I've noticed with me being on with Jimmy the Bag and me being on with Jose hosting. The pace.
Oh, yeah?
My gosh, we're out of here in below 2 hours. I can't believe it.
I will say that has been the main takeaway from most everyone. My pace is a little more brisk than Jimmy's. It might be my youth that gets me through it. Or, like I said, it is easier to say nothing and keep the show going. Yeah. The pace is better when you don't have anything to say. And when you don't have anything to say about hockey, it helps things move along. All right, so let's recap your plays, Bobano. And boy, oh boy, are they a lot. Yep. And I've written them all down. And if you hear any lines that aren't the way they should be, please let me know. But we'll start in the National Hockey League, the over 6 and the third period over. I'm not even going to bother mentioning all the third period overs. I'm just going to say them now. We're on every third period over. Minus 155 in Pittsburgh Rangers, over 2.5 in Florida Washington at plus 110, and over 2 plus 105 Calgary Dallas in third period.
Correct.
As well as over 6 in that full game Pittsburgh New York Rangers. We've got the Washington Capitals first period money line plus 132. Washington Capitals full game money line plus 160. And that actually concludes the NHL. You don't even have that many NHL plays compared to the baseball. The baseball,
there's a lot more baseball games.
Well, that is true, but you don't poke a hole in my. Oh, geez, Bobana, we just got some shitty breaking news. Oh, geez, some shitty breaking news that just broke a minute ago. The Dodgers are recalling Garrett Clevenger and place Clayton Kershaw on the injured list with right SI joint inflammation.
Oh, boy. Yep.
Yikes. So that changes that. Out a minute ago, so I will go ahead and just erase that Dodgers. Did I just make a Dodgers bet? I thought I did make a Dodgers bet, but I guess I didn't. I don't know. That's weird. But so no Dodgers bets for me, obviously. That changes everything. That is interesting. Um, Actually, I did just bet. What did I bet? What did I bet, Boban? I bet something. I don't know what I bet. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. I'm not gonna. I just didn't write it down. But we're gonna continue on with your plays, Bobano, because that's what's more important here. As I continue to lose my mind throughout the show. All right. So Cincinnati Reds first 5 full game -106 and -102 respectively. Miami money line at +134 and +135 for the first 5 money line as well. The Bobana splits in both of those. Houston, Washington Nationals over 8 -115. Cleveland, Minnesota over 8 at -115. Colorado first 5 and full game money lines. Bobano. I actually did not write lines for that one, so when you can, let me know what those are. You also had the Yankees first 5 -0.5 -125, and Yankees full game run line +100, along with the over 7.5 in that game as well. So 3 spots for Bobano there. The over 8.5 at the Chicago White Sox Arizona game -125 there. The San Francisco Giants over 7.5 -110 against the Cardinals there. And that is it. That wraps it all up. There's a lot of plays that, and Tease, wow, you can erase bets, Jose. I need your book. Well, sorry, Tease. I made the bet when the pitcher was announced, or when I had Kershaw 2 seconds later. It disappears. I can't help that.
Yeah, just expunge every loss from the record, and I'll be good. Thanks.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we do. I'm sorry. I bet what the pitchers expect to be in. But those are all the plays there for you, Ian. What are those Rockies lines for me? One quick.
-140 first 5 and -134 full game.
-134. Beautiful. My notes are messy, but I am excited for this day. Bobano, I've told everyone, like I said, I'm tailing all the plays, so we're riding together in all of those plays, and I'm excited.
Yep.
Huh?
Ride or die.
Yes, ride or die, of course, and it's going to be a great time. Bobano, do you have anything to say before you get out of here? And I message Daryl to say, let's get in here, Daryl, and go start this basketball.
Just thanks for watching, as always. That's usually my goodbye when I leave here on a Friday. I say thanks for watching. It's always fun, to break down the card every game, give you hopefully good insight, good analysis, a little fun, a little entertainment, a little karaoke every now and then too. So it's always a great time on Friday with Betting with the Bag. Today, Betting with Bouquett, filling in for Jimmy. And thanks to everyone for joining us. I see all kinds of familiar names, faces. Kenny Rogers, a great time with him and everybody in San Antonio a couple months ago with Tease as well. Jimmy Gomez, great group. Big Ragu, of course. Go on down the list. Everybody that joined us down there in San Antonio was phenomenal. Of course, Nut Flush Allen, absolutely outstanding that time down there a couple months ago. But everyone in the chat, Nasty Nate, of course, as well. He was there with us, and everybody in the Razor Sharp, who's a great guy. Everybody in the chat as well. Thanks for joining us. Hit that like button. That's important, and I'll be back 4 p.m. Eastern later today. NBA Pub Hub.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, my guy, Bobano. Nasty Nate making me chuckle here. We're going to start needing winning tickets from Jose going forward. Nasty Nate wants my social, wants my ID, wants my voter ID too. So I got you, Nate. We'll see each other in Boston. I'll show you my book. You'll be like, oh, okay, all right. And then maybe I can get the street cred that I'm looking for from Unc Nate. So I'm excited for that, by the way. T saying, Ron, we need a WNBA spreadsheet. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I cannot wait. And by the way, Wilson Alejo saying, is this Jose or Nestor Cortez with the stash? That's a good question. Good question. Me and him get often confused. My best bet today, Houston run line +108. Houston are 8-0 covering run lines at Nationals Park. So yes, wow. That's a stat right there. And by the way, I saw a lot of comments about Bobano saying I should have told him to cut out with a little single for us. Let us know. I would love to know in the comments what song you want Bobano to sing today. By the way, Ron Crawford saying Walker Buehler getting the start today. So, it's a nice position to be in, huh? It's no Clayton Kershaw. Let's just slide in another great pitcher, Walker Buehler, in his stead. All right, so we are going to move on to basketball here in a second as my squeaky chair keeps making noise on us. We're waiting for Daryl Rice. He'll be here in just a moment, but I'm going to be excited for these games. We're going to have 2 games on the docket. I will open up and talk about the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Brewers here, and what a fucking heartbreak. What an absolute heartbreaker of a game for all of Boston. All of Boston. It was really tough. And I'll interrupt myself. I mean, and this always worth interrupting myself. Red Girl slapped that ass play of the day. Dream full game under 167.5 there. Shout out to the Dream. I unfortunately am not a WWE guy. I do not know it that well, unfortunately, especially since the Silver Stars got taken from San Antonio and fucking Las Vegas took Becky Hammond too. They keep taking stuff from San Antonio, and it hurts my feelings greatly. So we'll just leave the WNBA talk there, but I cannot wait. And Scott Foster is on our card today too, so let's just be aware for that. Jason Falk saying, man, I just like to hear Bobano talk sports. Good show, fellas. Appreciate you, my guy. Tease, I should say, Kenny Rogers, maybe I won't be wearing that gold chain that you want me to wear, but we'll see each other soon. Tease, bring your glove when you go to Cabs. We all are going to watch you pitch to Cab. I will gladly bring I'll bring my glove, and we'll pitch to Cab, but under one condition, and that is to Cab. If you're watching, if you're going to throw the ball back to me, throw it with your left hand, because you throw over 70, over 80, get to the 90s, I'm not catching it. So no thanks there. Razor Sharp Picks loves the NBA games today. Love that. So we'll talk about it. I want to talk about the previous game, the previous Celtics-Bucks game here in a second, or here right now. But I really thought the Celtics were going to win the titles, guys. I really thought if the Celtics win that Game 6, that they were going to win the title. They were going to move on and play the Suns, and dominate. But Giannis and mainly Drew Holiday had other plans. He went in there, Drew Holiday hits a gigantic 3. Giannis hits a gigantic 3. Makes the game close. Marcus Smart's drive to the basket and his block, or I should say getting blocked by Drew Holiday. I'd love to know what you guys think about that as well. I thought it was a good basketball play for Marcus. You take the ball up and you're not going to get a much better shot. That's just a great block by Drew. But a lot of Celtics were standing around on that inbounds play. Jason Tatum was absent, and it really hurt my feelings. And I'm just worried now. Just worried. I think the Celtics win today. And by the way, the headset on the eyebrow gets you some street cred look. I mean, thank you, Razor. I've got a little headset right here, and I heard, it's what we do. It's what we do. I don't throw me flowers and roses. Yeah, Razor. But here you go. There you go. We'll get a different look for you. All right. It's time. I'm excited. Daryl waiting back there patiently as I ramble and cry about the Celtics. And he probably doesn't give a fuck about it because he's a Lakers fan and he will drink my tears tonight. Let's bring him on. At Daryl Rice. At It's Daryl. Let's do it, Daryl. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yo. Hey, Jose, you're a bad host. I just want to tell you that now. I sent you a text message like 30 minutes ago. Like, yo.
Sorry. I mean, what do you mean to do? I'm doing all these things.
doing
My
the show
bad.
here. I'm doing the show here. No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just giving you shit. I'm giving you shit. Like the look, man. I do like the look, brother.
Thank you. Actually, speaking of that, it's time. We're getting serious here now. Let's try
Oh,
to not take my hair.
you have on pants. You have on
Yeah,
pants.
of course I do. We're getting serious now, Daryl. Take off the blazer, show off my fucking
Your guns,
guns.
your 22s.
Yeah, man. I drive 22s and my arms are 22-inch python.
Yeah, there you go, man. Take us to the gun show. Take us to the gun show.
We're getting serious now, Daryl.
We're getting serious. We are getting serious, man. But happy Friday to you, Jose. Doing a great job, man. I know Jimmy's on vacation, and all seriousness, I know this shit is hard work. It's a lot of preparation involved, and I just want to give you a shout out, man, for just holding it down. And again, thank you. As I always say, any day on this side of the grass is a good day. It is Friday, bro. Coming off my win. We did good Wednesday, right? We did good Wednesday. Hey, I got roasted on Wednesday for saying Memphis trifecta. You know what I'm saying?
You went out there and flexed on them.
You know, so I got to keep that same energy, you know what I'm saying, going in on today. So I did step on some plays, a lot of plays, because I'm also a part of this contest. So I did step on some plays. So I'm going to share those plays with you as well. But ball is good, man. Ball is good. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it.
Yes, Daryl. So let's get serious, like we mentioned, and I'll show you how serious
really
I am here, Daryl. This is how serious I am here.
This is
no emotions here, no fandom, just straight facts here. Celtics, Bucks. I'm taking the Celtics first of all. This is my first NBA play in a long time that I'm doing by myself with no adult supervision. I'm taking the Celtics plus 1.5. We're going to a game 7, and this is easily, not even close.
Really?
This is the most important game in all of those young Celtics careers. Smart, Tatum, Brown, all of them. I expect Marcus Smart to have a better to good game here. He choked. I would say the whole team choked, and I would say that the Celtics are the mentally weak franchise that they are portrayed to be on social media. But Ime has the whole year, he's been trying to toughen these guys up. I think my favorite thing about Ime is whenever he gets, there's always a point in the game, Daryl, where Celtics will just shut off for like 5 minutes. They'll fucking suck.
Yeah.
And Ime would just be like, timeout. And just start yelling, you motherfuckers, fuck you guys. What the fuck is this? I love that shit. Just Ime, yell at their ass.
Yeah.
Tell them to grab a rebound.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that really pisses me off. Just grab one rebound. I think Robert Williams plays today. I'm on the Celtics plus 1.5 and money line. Nate, our guy, Nasty Nate, of course.
Nasty Nate.
You know what he's on, trifecta.
Yeah.
I can't see the chat with these glasses. So I'll let you take it away, Daryl. What do you have?
First off, man, you look like Ray Charles' stepbrother. I don't know why you. I don't know what's going on.
Say I look like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Some people also say I sound like Stephen Wonder too. So.
Yeah. No, not that at all. Not that at all. We are on opposite sides, brother. We are on opposite sides today. We are. This is Milwaukee Bucks at home. This is an important game. They really don't want to go back to Boston and play, first off against, the Celtics at home and that crowd and that fan base, right? That's one thing that you don't want to deal with. Milwaukee, man, these boys is just built different. They're just built different. And I did see Red Girl's comment. Don't be sorry about none of it. Everybody gets lucky, so don't be sorry that you roasted me on my Memphis pick. There were some other people out there that did that. So I didn't even know you did, but it's all good. I'm going to leave that alone because that was 2 days ago, right? It's new money now. So this is how we do it.
We don't hold grudges. Except I do.
Yeah, man. I can't hold grudges. Man, I'm too old for that shit, bro.
I'm not. I hold grudges.
No, you're not. Yeah, when you get my age, dog, you have to understand that there's a lot of things that aren't real, and one of those is Twitter.
Well, let me tell you, Daryl, I thrive. I feed off of negativity. I love it. As you guys can tell, Jimmy had to yell at me for like 3 weeks so I can be a winning capper. I thrive off it.
Oh,
Call me a
nice.
piece of shit. Call me every name in the book. I love it.
Yeah,
Daryl,
yeah.
I tell everyone the world is lucky that I'm an unathletic fat piece of shit.
Oh,
If
me
I
too.
was if I was an athlete, Daryl, if I was good at sports, I'd be the
Oh,
biggest shit talker on the
yeah.
other. Oh my god.
You'd be the Memphis Grizzlies team because that's another team they just talk.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Talk shit. But
yeah, man.
and by the way, speaking of talking shit, Preston Ekdahl, noted Bulls fan and Wisconsinite, saying, "How does this series go 3-2 to Milwaukee?" You know what, Preston? Fuck you and your Bulls. That's how I feel about that, Preston. That's how I feel about that. Now, I would love for you to, Daryl, tell people rationally what is actually going to happen on this game because you're Mr. 60%. You've got you're at like 58.9, 59 point whatever percent.
Yeah,
now.
am I at 59 yet? I mean, it was only one game. Well, I don't know. But yeah, so first off, let's talk about the flow of this game. What's been automatic, right? And what's been making you money all year is Milwaukee first quarter, right? That's a given. So if you've just bet Milwaukee first quarters, throughout the year, you've probably made some decent money. Milwaukee first quarter in this series has been money as well, right? So to have Milwaukee at home, we know how Milwaukee does in first quarter at home. And to have this spread so low, I mean, you're basically asking Milwaukee to win the first quarter, which is what they're doing already, right? Even in games that they lose, they've still won the first quarter. Now, this has bit me in the ass with the Philly and Miami game yesterday because that first quarter ended 25-28. But we also know that Danny Green had a bad injury early in the game that kind of changed the dynamics of a lot. So this one here in a closeout game, and just to even stress on why I like quarter play, the reason why is because you get the team at its freshest, right? So everybody has a game plan, everybody has a structure, everybody has assignments, and you do those until you start getting later in the game. You start getting tired, you start having mental breakdowns, you start missing assignments, and there's adjustments made throughout the game. In the first quarter, in the first 4 minutes, you see teams that kind of get away, and then teams rather have to kind of grit and grind their way back. And that's kind of how the Bucks have had to play the Celtics. You've seen in some games, Celtics were up on the Bucks like 18-9 or 18-7 with 6 minutes left, and the Bucks come back. So with me thinking that the Celtics can just, leave first quarter and never turn around and not turn back, I don't think so. It's highly likely that the Bucks are going to win first quarter. So you might as well put your money there. Bucks first quarter. The second portion of this game, I do believe, and at that time you start seeing, shooters get a little hot. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a slow start, if Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown start slow, and the Celtics do, if you look at their record, their numbers overall for the season, they're not the highest scoring first quarter team. Right. So that tells you also that these guys kind of got to get involved, slip screens, pick and pops, all different types of plays are ran and let these guys get open. You set plays for them and they run them. Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
Oh, popular man, Daryl.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
They don't want you to give us this information, Daryl. They're scared.
Yeah. My phone's ringing. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I got it connected. So with that said, I feel like the half of the game, the Celtics will be up.
Okay.
So all right. If you like the flow of this game, it's Milwaukee first quarter, Celtics first half. But when it comes to the last portion of the game, the full game itself, Jrue Holiday is just living rent free in Marcus Smart's head. I mean, this guy is just making defensive plays. Marcus Smart is still making some erroneous mistakes that have become costly. It was costly to them last game. So you're just going to give me Milwaukee Bucks to win by a bucket, 2 points. I'm all over it at home in a game that you need to close out. These guys are defending champions. They have the mental fortitude. I mean, Giannis is literally playing with a busted eye. I mean, so when he's talking about, drawing blood, he's giving his sweat, blood, and tears for this series. He literally has, So full game goes to Bucks, first quarter goes to Bucks, half goes to the Celtics. That's what I like. Now, I also say that I've stepped on Al Horford over 3.5 assists. Al Horford over 3.5 assists. He's giving you a minimum of 3. But I did see something in the last game into which they tried to contain Horford because the game previously he had about 24 points, right? And so there was more emphasis on him, and he was able to kick it back out and get other players involved. And they're going to try to carry that same game plan, in my opinion. So that's going to leave Horford for more assists. He had 6 last game, and they still lost. I think that happens again to where he'll get over 3.5 easily. So I do like Al Horford over 3.5 assists. That's what I played in this game. So Milwaukee Bucks first quarter is just automatic, if you ask me, and Al Horford over 3.5 assists.
I love it. I love that first quarter play. I hate the last part of it. I'm going to ignore, like you didn't say, the full game portion of it. I'm going to say I loved that breakdown, Daryl. That first half was phenomenal. So let's talk about the second game. And then, Daryl, I'd like to memorialize, eulogize, I should say, the teams that we lost in the playoff. And I just, specifically one team.
Yeah, it was just one team. It'd be a couple today, probably, right? The
one we've already lost.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I was reading something. I don't want to give out too much information because I don't know if I'm supposed to, but Game 7's the Mavericks and Suns Game 7 is starting late. It's starting at 10 p.m. Eastern time, right?
That makes sense, right?
Which means it would make room for a Game 7. There's going to be an early Game 7 on Sunday. So if I've got some peeps in the chat who wear like their tinfoil hats, that Suns game is starting really, really late, so there could be room for another game on Sunday, early Sunday. So just saying, man, could be a Game 7. And the sad thing is my plays both had these teams closing out their opponent tonight. So
your tinfoil hat's not on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I don't hedge bets. I mean, I need to try to start doing that, but once I make a play, I just stick with it. If I lose my money, I just lose my damn money. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, we're not Cardinals here.
Yeah, we've got some. Hey, Scott Foster's also reffing this game, right? He's reffing this game tonight. So we know what Scott Foster does. He's the company man for the NBA. So Scott Foster does what he is told to do when the association comes down on him. So there could be a Game 7 happening between one of these two games tonight.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Warriors lead 3-2. They got fucking shit pumped last time out, but they didn't really take the game very seriously, as we all saw.
They did it.
It would be really ironic if they blew a 3-1 lead, or 3-1 lead, I should say. It would be really ironic, but I don't anticipate the Warriors losing at home with no jaw.
Yeah.
It's, Scott Foster, that son of a bitch.
Scott Fraudster.
Really did that.
That's funny. Yeah.
I forgot who it was in the chat, but someone put in the chat earlier that when Scott Foster's reffing a game, the team that's behind in a series is like 20-11.
Yeah, I saw something that said in closeout games he's like 6-0, but I was trying to get more information on if it's for is it for the favorite or the underdog? Right now, just what I'm looking at, it with Scott Foster reffing this game, the Milwaukee game, you should be taking the Bucks because he's 6-0 in closeout games. So I think I think that's another reason why to look at the Bucks. Not really sure. I could have that wrong, but I say that to where like he's a company man, you know what I'm saying? And he's got Tony Brothers that's not too different from him as well. So Scott Foster is the guy you call when you want the association to have something done. So if they do want to extend this series to a Game 7, you know what I'm saying, then look at Boston. But if I'm right, I could be wrong. Maybe the chat could confirm this for me. If I am correct, Scott Foster is 6-0 in closeout games this season, and it favors the team that's supposed to win, the favorite.
Man.
So I could be wrong.
The fact that we have stats like this is
it's crazy,
so
right? It's crazy,
it's
absolutely
funny.
Crazy. Yeah.
Daryl, do you have anything? Just I don't think we need to introduce this Warriors Memphis game. We all know what this is. Curry and those boys with the backups in Memphis.
Yeah.
Obviously, Memphis is the most prime candidate for a 3-for-1 trade. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this offseason they lose this game and they're like, oh, this is a great season for us. Whatever, we get to the second round, it's been forever, and they decide, all right, well, let's trade fucking so and so for Bradley Beal in a trading deal or whatever, sign trade. Zach LaVine also in the same case with the Bulls. So I think we to here, but I think the Warriors roll in some form or fashion. A lot of you guys like doing the first quarters, so I would like to ask you about that. But it seems like you said last time, the Grizzlies' first quarter is undefeated.
Yeah, and it's wild because there's two things here that's coming into play, and just to kind of go on tell on what you're saying here, I don't think, and this is just me talking, I don't think Memphis really does anything in the offseason to make their team better or take drastic measures to. Remember, during the trade deadline, there was just a few teams, man, that was just sitting back chilling, right? Wasn't making a move about a damn thing. And one of those teams was Memphis, right? Memphis didn't make any goddamn move at all for the trade deadline, right? And so what I believe is this, of course, this series would look different if you had Ja playing. So let's just say it's over tonight, right? I think Taylor Jenkins has something to build on, saying, hey, we took these guys deep, 2-6 games without Ja being in half those games, right? So I don't know if the Grizzlies are looking actually whether to rebuild or maybe just to kind of add on to what they have. They have no need to rebuild, bro. They were second in the West, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be like them overpaying for someone. They've got so much depth that they could give them to like I said, the Wizards.
Yeah,
perfectly fine. Like a Desmond Bain and Steven Adams for money and someone else. That's good. Something. But go ahead.
The funny thing is, out of the two teams losing, I think Golden State is more likely to try to do some rebuilding if they lose versus if Memphis loses, right? And they do anything at all. So with that said, that's the first thing. The second thing about this series is I'm not afraid of this number, right? Where the TV money is, and what I said earlier in my group is the TV money is with Ja. Ja is your Mr. Spectacular. That's the guy that brings in the ratings, right? A team without Ja is really kind of like, they're good, but they're not going to be watched as much if Ja isn't playing, right? They're a small market team at that. We've talked about small market teams and how they've kind of revived the NBA, especially with Milwaukee just winning the championship last year. So they're a small market team that's gaining steam, but a lot of that push is behind Ja. Now, that's my opinion, right? That's my opinion on that. So the likelihood of a game 7, I believe, would be more in the Boston-Milwaukee than this game. So with that said, there's two plays I made here too. And I'm just going to go back to the well with it. That is Memphis first quarter, right? Memphis first quarter. They are now, you could get it at +3. It was +2.5. I don't know if this would be a money line play because you do have a rested up team in Golden State. Those starters really didn't play in the fourth quarter. They got sat out pretty early. So I do believe you have a more competitive first quarter, but it's been money, right? It's been money. So in the long run, if like Milwaukee, if you've been taking Memphis first quarter, you've been making money, bottom line. So I'm going back to the well, already stepped on it. Memphis first quarter +2.5. It is now +3 in some books, so if you can get the +3, jump all on it. Now what makes me scared about these first quarter looks is I was right on the Dallas look, right? Dallas money line yesterday, but wrong on the Philly look. even though Philly had been winning first quarters every game in that series against Miami. So one of these could possibly not play out, but more likely than not, Milwaukee should get you first quarter and Memphis should get you first quarter. But I'm telling you right now, you ready for this? You ready for this?
Oh, hold on. I am in fact not ready for this. Hold on. I am in fact not ready for this. I need to batten down the hatches. Everything's all right. All right, Daryl, I think I'm ready.
You ready for this? Give me Golden State minus. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. You ready for this? Here's my analysis. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was electric.
Yeah. So and now I'm going to say this. This is the reason why I'm going this way with it. Now, by chance, Jose, are you able to see where the money is on this game?
Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm not rich like Jimmy. Jimmy's got his bukus of money, Jimmy.
Yeah. Jimmy's rolling in the dough. Well, I haven't looked at. I know the majority of the side, right, is on this Memphis plus the points.
Yeah.
Right. Let's take a step back and look at this Boston and Milwaukee game. The game one, Boston and Milwaukee play, and Milwaukee beats the entire fucking shit out of Boston. Game one. Those lines are already out because it's the playoffs, so you can get lines a little early. If you look at game two, even though Boston that got smacked the fuck down at home, game two is still Boston -6.
Yeah.
Boston -6. And what do? Boston goes in game two at home and smacks the entire shit out of Milwaukee, right? So now we're looking at last game. Memphis plays Golden State. Of course, they're at home, but they just go on a route and smack the shit out of Golden State. Smacks the entire shit out of Golden State to where you are at the end of the game saying, whoop that trick. You got your clips of goddamn, everybody just kind of trolling them. You saw Ja Morant doing his 1, 2, 3 after threes were made. You know what I'm saying? And then this line is out after Golden State gets smacked and it's -8.5. -8.5. So what that's telling me is the books, to me, in my opinion, don't really have to change what they do because the books make money. They take your money. That's what they do, right? I think the average Joe is going to look at this line, look at last game with a little bit of recency bias, and say, well, I'm just going to jump on Memphis. Memphis might lose, right? But they're not going to lose by 8.5 points. That line is way too high, and they're going to immediately jump on Memphis. I think that's what a lot of us do. I consider myself a low bagger. I'm not sharp. I just look at the games, how, I look at them, not always right. But I think that's the case here. I think the case that we saw at Boston and Milwaukee game 1 and 2 is now what we're seeing in this game 6 for Golden State and Memphis. So it's one of these things to where there's going to be a lot of people on Memphis, and it's going to cause the books to really make money because people are going to see that line as being too high. It's already gone down a hook. So there's been some big money coming in on Memphis, right? But I feel it's one of these games to where Golden State is going to show why they're as good as they are. And you haven't seen the best performance out of Klay Thompson. You've seen some off performances by Steph Curry. You've had other glue guys step up, but I'm telling you right now, bro, I am not afraid of this number at all. But I believe the game flow of this will be Memphis will come out hot. Memphis will play first quarter as they always do and have shown you in the past. It might be a little off where Memphis is still winning by halftime, but this is the old narrative. You're going to see that third quarter blitz happen to where Golden State is going to just catch fire, go in the third quarter, maybe tighten it up, and then by fourth quarter leave the game. And so I do believe that Golden State is going to close this out. Golden State -8 is where I got it. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is on this game.
Wow. I'm awestruck. I'm baffled. I'm left speechless, and that's rare for me to be, Daryl.
Yo, are you doodling? What's going on over there, bro?
What am I doing? No, I'm actually erasing to give me some space so I could write your action, and I am kind of doodling,
Okay.
I guess.
I thought you were
Daryl,
making like little,
yeah.
flowers. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
I'm just so uninterested in the NBA. I just start doodling when you start talking. Can I get the juices from all your plays, Daryl? Just to recap, you've got Milwaukee first quarter.
Mhm.
What juice did you get that at?
I got that at minus 110. I just took Milwaukee minus a half, right? I didn't want to take it money line. So I got Milwaukee minus a half at minus 110. I got Al Horford over 3.5 assists at plus 104.
Okay,
Plus 104. I've got Milwaukee full game minus 1.5. And that was also minus 110. I've got Memphis first quarter plus 2.5 at minus 110. And I've got Golden State minus 8 full game at minus 115.
Beautiful, Daryl Rice. What an appearance from you, Daryl. You called me out for doodling.
Yeah.
You see the gun show come out.
Yeah, gun show.
Yeah, we were doing a little bit of these,
Yeah, we do that. That's what we do, bro. That's what we do.
And a lot of people told me that I need to work out a little bit. And to those people, I would rather die than work out and be sore again.
I hear you. Somebody said that Mike Brown is coaching. And you know what, man? I'm telling you, bro, that's enough to get me scared too. So yeah, I'm telling you. Mike Brown is terrible, dog. He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible as a coach.
What year would you want the Kings coach to be your coach in the playoffs? Not many at all. Yeah. All right, well, Daryl, that's a short card, obviously.
Obviously.
And I'm excited about it. It's going to be a fun night. And Celtics are going to win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Razor, I see you, man. Yeah, hit me up. Yeah. Jose, man, you're pretty fun. You're pretty fun, brother.
Oh, thank you. I've never had someone compliment me on my looks on this show. I appreciate that.
No, I didn't say you look fun. I said you're. See, this is what I got to go through. I'm telling you right now. Get Jimmy back on this motherfucker.
That's how everyone's gonna feel after Tuesday. I can't wait. Daryl, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Peace and love to everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all. It's always a pleasure to sit and talk ball with y'all, man. 5 picks, a lot of picks for me today. But I'm praying, man, praying that we can get these done. So, with that said, go listen to Kendrick Lamar, man.
Oh,
you listen to the album yet?
No, Daryl, I don't listen to music that much. Give me a quick review. Kendrick Lamar album review, 1 to 10 right now.
12. Okay, it's good. That good, bro. It's that good.
All right, I guess I'll be listening to it today.
You're not. Don't say that.
You're probably right. I'm not going to listen to that shit.
I know. You're probably going to sit there and listen to goddamn Los Tigres del Norte or something. Yeah, some shit.
You know what it is, Daryl. Before you go, could you please let people know? I want to give you a plug here. A little contest you're in, Daryl. Let people know what you're doing with that.
Yeah. So the contest that I'm a part of, man, is called the Best Bet. Right. So you give 5 plays a week. This is going to go on for 8 weeks. We're already in the first week, and I was, every once in a while, I've done it on the show. I'll get reckless, Jose. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to get reckless on the first week. I didn't pay off. I went 2-3 and lost money. And so this week I'm staying by, this just the basics of 101 of, bankroll management. So, manage your bankroll, guys, is where it's at. If you don't know already. So yeah, I'm part of this show, 5 cappers, 5 picks per week for the next 8 weeks.
All the 5 cappers too, by the way. All these people watching the show, you guys know all 5 cappers, and you know the host.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's an honor to be with those cappers, bro. Like when Jimmy was talking to me about the show, I always say, like, I'm the newest guy on the block. You know what I'm saying? These guys have been doing this a lot longer than me, and it's just an honor to be a part of it, really. So win, lose, or draw. I hope I win. 4 bands is good. You know how many strippers that you can get for 4 bands? You know how many I'm
unexperienced, Daryl. How many strippers per band?
Yeah.
estimate?
Well, it depends on what city you in, man. You know what I'm saying? California's a little inflated, so I probably had to go to Vegas.
But in Atlanta,
Yeah, man. You get a lot more.
Magic City. Well, I think if I go to Magic City, obviously I'd be like Lou Will, and I'm just here for the wings, ladies.
Yeah,
Ladies,
chicken
just here for
wings.
the wings.
Yeah, that's it. We just going for the food, you know. But yeah, but it is 8 weeks, and it is the grand prize is 4K, and so far Dutch has kind of set the bar, you know. So I am hoping that I could win this contest, but win, lose, or draw, the guys that I'm up against are just some heavy hitters, in my opinion. These guys have been at this for a long time. Some of these guys do this full time to where it is their job. So it is a pleasure to be on the same stage with these cats. But I hope to smack the shit out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? So best of luck, but hope I can come out on top. And if not, this has been a great experience altogether.
Beautiful. Daryl Rice, thank you so much for joining me. You can catch him on the NBA Pub Hub and right here on Betting with the Bag and Betting with Bouquett whenever Jimmy the Bag gets lost or goes on vacation. What a day! What an absolute pleasure of a day. We keep it fresh. We keep it light. I stripped throughout the show. Daryl called me fine at one point, and I think that was because of my arms, and I appreciated that, Daryl. Even though he said he didn't, I heard, Jose, you look fine today, so I appreciated that. I will give you guys a quick recap of all the plays on the show given out today. Bobano obviously has a shitload. I have 4, 5. I've got 5 plays for you today, and Daryl as well has 5. So we got a chopped and loaded show today, and it's going to be a fun afternoon of gambling. Before I do give out these picks, remember, tomorrow, Say Hey plays early in the morning, me breaking down the baseball. I won't be breaking down the NBA and the NHL that day, unfortunately. I'll be only sticking to baseball, but I will perhaps talk about those things. I've got my best friend, actually my legitimate best friend in the world, coming on the show on Saturday. And he's never done content before. He lives in the backwoods of Boone, North Carolina. And like I told you guys before, he's my version of Peter Loshak. He's canceled on me before, and I wouldn't be surprised if he canceled on me again. But I'm excited about it because he is very much like my Peter Loshak, and he is an excellent capper in his own right. All right, so let's talk about the plays. Bobano in the NHL. Remember, he took every third period over today. So every third period over. So that is New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins over 2, minus 155. Florida, Washington Capitals over 2.5, plus 110. And Calgary, Dallas over 2 at plus 105. All 3 of those will be taken by me and Bobano there. He's also took the full game over 6, minus 120 in the Rangers Pittsburgh Penguins game. He also has the Capitals first period and a full game money line, plus 132, plus 160 there for Bobano. He has, and that's all actually, that's all of his NHL plays right there. So all 5 right there. There you go. Math guy right there, ladies and germs. Next on the docket, like I said, he's got a whole bunch of MLB plays. We'll start with the Cincinnati first 5 full game split, minus 106, minus 102. Miami Marlins plus 134 money line, and first 5 money line plus 135. Houston Washington Nationals over 8 at minus 115. We've got the Cleveland Guardians Minnesota Twins over 8, 115. Colorado first 5 and full game money line minus 140 first 5 and plus 134 for the full game money line there for Colorado. And he has a triple up spot for the Yankees game. Triple up spot. Yankees first 5 minus a half minus 125. Full game run line plus 100, and the over 7.5 runs there minus 115 for the Yankees White Sox game. Along with 2 more plays, last 2 plays for Bobano here. I know, a lot of plays, a lot of numbers. Hang in there. 2 more, I should say. Over 8.5 minus 125 in the Chicago Cubs. Arizona Diamondbacks. NHL brains coming. See, all these acronyms are starting to slow down. We're wearing down at the last 2 hours and 40 minutes mark. Let's keep the energy high. Let's go. I'm talking to myself in that aspect, not to you guys. For me, I've got the Houston Washington Nationals game over 8 and minus 115. Baltimore, Detroit over 7.5 at -120. A play that I would say is not popular, but a lot of people not liking the Orioles today here, as my phone is blowing up right now, guys. Jesus. New York team total over 4.5 at -110. The Cleveland Guardians team total over 3.5 -115. That was Taint play of the day. He got it at even money, so shout out to my man Matt Randall and Taint, of course. And I also took the ski ladder with Taint. I took these over 4 team total at +120 as well. Last but not least, it's Daryl Rice and the NBA plays. I'll recap it. We just talked about it. And by the way, razor sharp picks, making sure everyone knows Crosby out today for the Penguins, and the line did not move. So he's feeling the Penguins today. Feeling the Penguins. That's a good thing. North Ender said it moved 10 cents, but I would say that's not a big enough move for Crosby. As you guys saw, I said all the stats with Crosby on the ice. He's that big of a factor. I expect it to move more. So I think that's interesting. That's very interesting there. But Daryl's plays, Milwaukee Bucks -1.5, -110. Milwaukee first quarter -0.5 at -110. Memphis first quarter +2.5, -110. The Al Horford over 3.5 assists at +104. And the Golden State Warriors today -8, -115. But as you guys know, Daryl doesn't give a fucking shit what that spread is, because that is his. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Play of the day. What a show. A 2-hour and 40-minute effort here today. Woo! We are tired. We are a little hot. We took off the top, letting the arms show a little bit, but mainly we're worried about the Celtics tonight, guys. Celtics, big game. Cannot wait. And I appreciate all of you guys for joining me as always. We've got what a great show these last couple of days. And today we've got one more on Tuesday, one more betting with Bouquett, but this time it'll be Loshak and Bouquett, I guess. Me and Peter Loshak talking all the sports. Peter probably doesn't know that I'm hosting the show with him yet, but it'll be a fun time for it. Thanks, guys, so much. Poppy Cat in here. Do we wait to put it in 3 hours or wait? I would say put it in. I don't know. That's a good question about the Penguins, I assume. Do we wait or put it in now? It's a great question. Derek Miller in here. I fucking agree with you with the Celtics sentiments there, right there. It hurt my feelings. David Burke, Backwoods, and Bouquet. Razor asking me to come on the show for the Boston game tonight. I'm producing no clean sheets, but right after, I think I'll jump on with you, because tomorrow morning I am driving after the show to Dallas to go see my guy, Dabby Cab, going to Rangers Red Sox. Sunday morning, we will be live with Dabby Cab in Dallas at his abode. So remember that. And then Saturday morning, we'll be here, right here, watching, or I should say, talking the games with my best friend. Going in there, it'll be a great time. He's a great capper. Join us then. All you guys, North Ender, Jason Falk. How are you going to leche if your armpit stank? We smell pretty good right now. I'm not going to lie, Jason. We put some DO on today. We smell pretty good right now. But we'll get a real thick leche in there with my armpits showing and everything. Life of Von Polo and here, future album better. I will listen to both Von Polo, and I'll let you know. I'm not actually going to, but if I end up listening to both, I'll let you know which one I like better, because I'm a music connoisseur, as you guys know. All right, guys, let's get into it. I cannot wait. Tomorrow's going to be a fun show. Billy Friedrich, I hope you enjoy Game 7. I saw you said earlier you're going to Game 7 Hurricanes, Bruins. There we go. I'll try to go through all the matchups there in my head. Hurricanes, Bruins, I cannot wait for that. It's going to be a fun time. And it's going to be a fun show tomorrow, guys. So be with me again. You guys get used to me. I'm on the screen every day now, so get used to it. We'll be back again tomorrow at 11:30. No, I was going to say the same time. It'll be 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 Central. And let's get it, guys. It's going to be a fun show. Got other things to do, other graphics to make. And it's going to be fun. Got to make the Jimmy the Bag face. Let me see if I can do it. It's a little leche a los bookmakers. We'll see you guys